This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Please note the thoughts, opinions, jokes, and every other bad taste that the guest and the host of Hobie, aka The History of Bad Ideas, is of their own, is not associated with any companies they may work for, any firms they work with, any advertisers, or anybody else in general. And remember, it's just a joke.
Alright. It's about comic books and movies, growing up with Rokusuke, Superman before Zack Snyder ruined him. Michael Keaton was the best Batman, while Christian Bale is just deadpan. No one remembers the other ones. Jeff defends Aquaman, Blake's just not listening. What? Jason impersonates Michael Caine.
Some people just want to watch World Buzz.
Jeff nails another draft day.
Nailed
Blake's
it.
top 5 has 98.
I got
Jason
one more.
just loves him some Kevin James.
Fucking Kevin James.
It's the history of bad.
It's bad.
It's the history of bad.
So bad.
It's the history of bad ideas. It's the history of bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's the history of bad. It's the history of bad ideas. Podcast.
Welcome to the History of Bad Ideas, episode number 190. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
Blake.
Yay! And it's just us this week. It's kind of nice. Old
Just us.
school. Oh, just the two of us. We can make it if we
There's
try.
3 of us.
Oh, he invited Jeff back?
Yeah, unfortunately. He's
I'm
here.
sitting over here
Oh, hi,
alone
Jeff.
at this end of the table. I'm still here.
I thought he was our sound technician.
Well, you know.
Because I don't talk to any of the non-podcast hosts.
What?
Jeannie is not here this week from Salty Language, but she's no longer Jeannie from Salty Language. The fans have demanded it. She is Jeannie from Hobie. So Jeannie will be back sooner than later. A lot of people loved her.
And nobody didn't like her.
No, that's a first. That's a big first. Scab Jeff, take notes. So I'm just saying that Jeannie got a seal of approval.
I'm surprised she's willing to come back after she only got like 75 cents on the IOU that we pay our guests.
She's going to negotiate for 80% next time.
I don't make those up. That's Jason's patriarchal
It's not me,
fucking
it's the
salary
intern.
wages.
It's the intern.
The intern's in charge of writing our IOUs.
Welcome everybody. Can we talk about one thing?
Welcome.
Can we talk?
Can we talk?
Jerry Lewis died.
He did die.
Yeah, that is pretty
Don't-
depressing.
No, not really.
Yeah, it is.
He did a lot for the military,
He did a lot for charity work
charity
and
work.
the military.
but he was an asshole.
In his later years, can you blame him? He played second fiddle to Dean Martin all those years as the idiot. I mean, after all those years, don't you think you have some bitterness built up?
I have bitterness now, and I don't have Dean Martin.
Hey, if you're the number one French icon of comedy, wouldn't you be bitter too?
Yes, he did die. I remember his telethons, and I actually used to like the telethons. I enjoyed them. Then they started cutting them back. I don't even know if they do them anymore. Do they, Jeff?
They do something, but I don't think they actually... Oh, ew.
Talk about we just found a cherry in here. Throw that in the garbage can,
This
please.
is a rotting cherry from last week.
That's your own fault.
I can tell the janitor's been here.
It's your own fault. Damn you.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, sorry. So anyways, lady, I remember
Brian Laven.
I remember his telethons. I used to enjoy them, except for the parts he came on. But he always had different talent, and it was just kind of cool to see him do like 48 hours or 72 hours or whatever he did. And then they slowly cut it back to like 48 hours, then 24. Then I think the last one was, 10 hours, I think?
Yeah, probably. And now, I mean, they still do fundraising. I don't know if they quite do a full telethon or if they just maybe come on during commercial breaks and say, hey, give us some money because we're trying to be nice people.
And, it was pretty impressive that, they'd had all that. It was kind of fun to see, but he has not had many good stories behind the scenes of anything. He did a lot of good charity work, though.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I suppose you're allowed to be an ass if you donate all that time and money to charity.
Sure.
Well, he was like, what, 91?
91.
All right, so think about this. The most famous Jerry Lee Lewis, the famous Jerry Lewis bit that's been in social media in the past couple years was essentially his asshole reactions to this clueless millennial kid who went to go interview him. Do you remember that from a couple?
I do remember that. Yes.
And if you are Jerry Lewis and you're a grumpy old man, you've been in the entertainment, business for 70 plus years, and you agree to do an interview, and this jackass kid comes to interview you, and basically it looks like he got his information from Wikipedia. I can understand him. That interview started out nice, and then it turned south really quick when Jerry figured out this kid. I should say young man. It got really uncomfortable. But, here's basically what I have to say. If you're going to go in and interview Jerry Lewis, you better know who you're interviewing and his impact on American culture for the past 70 plus years. And can you imagine being a grumpy old man? I mean, as grumpy as it is when you get old. I mean, grumpy's a given. I'm going to be a grumpy ass old man when I get older. But can you imagine being a grumpy ass old man and then dealing with the younger generation that has no clue with what you were and what you did? And then you throw that grumpy ass on top of grumpy ass, and I don't blame the guy, honestly, tell you the truth. So
Elliot Gould, the actor.
Now he's become a grumpy ass too, by the way.
He says this of Jerry Lewis just recently.
My.
He blatantly tells you on network TV that he's the epitome of socially conscious man, a great humanitarian. Actually, he's one of the most hostile and unpleasant guys I've ever seen. Pouring in.
And that's coming from Elliot Gould, who's become an asshole too. I mean, if he's an asshole and he's calling Jerry Lewis an asshole.
He was accused by 2 of his sons of being a cruel and abusive father.
Well, that I don't stand for, but...
He divorced his wife of 35 years and married a girl half his age.
As many Hollywood icons do.
The one thing I thought was impressive is...
I mean, seriously. That's what our president does every 20 years. Supreme Overlord. I'm sorry. Supreme Overlord upgrades. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to replace wife.
Have you ever seen Cabin in the Woods? If he doesn't marry someone every 20 years, the giant gods are going to come and blow up the earth. So it's a ritual that he's doing.
I mean, that's how we've kept North Korea from nuking us.
What's North Korea?
The fact that he's been renewing his wife every 20 years.
Renewing his wife.
I mean, that's our only salvation against North Korea. I mean, Melania's only got how many more years left, and he's going to have to go younger again.
Maybe 10?
Or maybe that's the secret to his power.
Barron's mom? Is she?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Maybe that's the secret to his power.
No, and I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just asking if I thought she was. Okay.
No, I was trying to be mean.
In 1950, him and Dean Martin made $10 million. That's pretty impressive.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Dean Martin probably got about 8 of it.
You think?
I bet you he probably got 60-40 or more than.
Because I'm Dean Martin.
Because he was Dean Martin.
Girls swoon.
Let's see here. That will be.
And today, are you trying to equivalent to today's income?
I'm calculating. Enter a number.
All right. So in the meantime, we're going to fill this dead time with.
Let's not.
I'm filling it with Pez.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my mouth I'm filling.
So Jerry Lewis, Breath of Silence. Okay. Anyways.
Breath of Silence?
We got to...
We don't take a moment. We just take a breath.
You weren't here for that episode of the wrestling that we deemed it no longer a moment of silence because I never stopped talking about it.
All right.
So it goes breath.
Right. Okay, fine.
So, Blake, we have a bowling charity event this week.
That is correct.
Please tell us about it.
Essentially what this is this Saturday at the Coleraine Bowl between 1 and 5 o'clock. That's 1,300 to 1,800 or 1,700.
I wouldn't have known. That involves.
But anyways, Bowling for the Brave. Essentially, it is a non-profit charity that essentially takes nominations for veterans and picks a veteran and honors them for that day. And on that day, they also raise money for a Talbot House, in which it's 100% charity. That means 100% of the money raised goes to the charity. They don't keep anything. So Coleraine Bowling Alley and this little Bowling for the Brave group, they essentially raise all this money, You can rent a lane. Hobie has rented a lane. Mm-hmm. And
Hobie will be there?
We'll be there, and we'll be bowling. And there will be split the pot. There will be gift baskets that you can bid on. And everything is donated by private individuals and public entities for your enjoyment and for your consumption. And the veteran that we honor gets a special Cincinnati Reds jersey. And in 2 weeks, we'll get to stand on top of the Cincinnati Reds home dugout and get their name and biography and a standing ovation from the crowd.
And they get to be waved at.
Get to be waved at and everything else. Yeah, very fun.
So yeah, if you're in the Cincinnati area this Saturday from 1 to 5, come by, stop by, check us out. Rumor has it, Ape Hands will be there.
Oh yeah,
That's the rumor.
I want to see. I want to see what a
You
bowling
want
ball.
me to show up then?
No, not you.
I want to think Ape
No,
Hands will just
I want
palm
to
the
see.
ball.
Yeah, I want to see what a bowling ball looks like in Ape Hands' hands.
I think that should be a game. I think.
I think we should take a photo and post it.
How big of a bowling ball can he palm? At least 4 pounds, 8,
Yeah.
maybe 12. I don't know.
Yeah,
know.
and you know what? For
Don't
everybody,
think they make bowling balls in 4 pounds, just to let you know.
I think they do
I think
for kids.
8. I think 8 is the
lowest.
lowest.
Oh, okay. Well, I stand corrected.
As someone who used to sell and drill bowling balls, Jason, you should have known
Did
that.
drill some bowling balls back in my day.
I don't know if I'd brag about that. No, but seriously, I think for all the fun that we make fun of Ape Hands for, I think the listeners should see his hands holding a bowling ball,
Yes.
so that they understand what I'm talking about when I said, "God damn, your hands are huge. You got gorilla hands."
It's going to be interesting at the expo, Blake, when you see Dev up close and personal. Dev has some hands.
He's got, well,
Tiny
regular
hands.
size hands, but he's got a larger than
Life.
most people rest of his body.
Yeah.
So
He's got an Andre the Giant kind of frame,
He is a cuddly
you
bear.
would think
though.
you would think his hands would be bigger.
but the beer cans don't look as small in his hands.
No.
Okay.
No. Just to let you know that the video that you're talking about with Jerry Lewis going off on the Millennial, it is now going to be up on our Facebook page at the History of Bad Ideas. I just posted it.
Great. How not to do an interview 101 for new journalists.
Yes. We should not be doing this at the Comic Expo.
Yeah.
Also, the inflation is $101.5 million. 500,000.
So it was, how many you said? 10 million?
It was $10 million in 1950 if you do
So
inflation.
we're over 10 times now?
Yes,
from 1950?
$10.15. So
It's keeping pace with the
101
cost of college tuition.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
I think it's way past the cost of, or college tuition is way past the inflation.
But $101 million they made, to our time. That's pretty impressive. So, did you guys want to talk Game of Thrones? Because I heard it was a pretty good episode.
You did?
I heard it was. I don't know. I never saw
I
it.
thought it was the worst episode of the series.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I thought, I just, every time something else happened, I said, really? Are
Okay.
you shitting me?
Well, okay, maybe not.
Really?
Maybe I just saw people talk about it. I didn't see what they said.
Well, hold on a second. But that's kind of actually a good preface for Jeff, because I thought it was a pretty good episode, and I thought it was pretty neat stuff, because I related it literally to the meme of like a Dungeons and Dragons party going north of the wall. But the action was good, the visuals were great. However, some of the plot choices and the things that happened made me go, really?
Yeah,
exactly the same. My initial reaction was, wow, that was a really good episode. But then I was like, wait a minute. There are several times that things were happening when I said, what? Really? Wait. Huh? What? And then when I started to really think about it and break it down, yeah, I think it was really kind of a shitty episode.
I pretty much,
On a whole.
you take out the fighting dragons,
Yeah.
then there's not much left of that episode
And
that I can say was decent.
I did like the concept of them getting stuck on the rock in the middle of the frozen lake. I mean, that was kind of cool. You know.
It was contrived, but
But okay. So let's go ahead. All right, Game of Thrones spoiler.
all right.
If you haven't seen this episode, you're stupid. By the time you listen to us, obviously, because
there have been plenty of spoilers thrown out there by the time you're listening.
hey, exactly. If you're trying to avoid everything to this point, there's no hope for you.
Well, jump ahead 10 minutes.
All right, so let's really think about this. When they left the wall, I thought the meme about them being in Dungeons and Dragons party,
Yeah.
I actually thought was pretty cool. And so they're going north, and of course, my first observation was nobody's wearing hats.
Yeah. I saw people complaining about that.
Are you going into Arctic with no
Gendry
head?
had a hood.
With no head cover?
Gendry had a hood.
Yeah,
and they were calling
Gendry
him
did.
the stupid one.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, he's wearing a hood. What do you mean stupid?
Okay. Now, I do like the conversations that they broke out between the characters along the way. So
Well, that
as
was
they
okay.
paired up characters and their conversations, I think those were very good story builders, basically some fill-ins in the past, and maybe gives you a little insight to some of the characters' motivations.
And changing other
and-
things that
and
they
changing
did
other things that-
earlier. Well, they contradicted things that they mentioned earlier in the series.
Yeah.
But okay.
You know, such as,
Such as
give an example.
Jon Snow, you look nothing like your father, where everyone said Jon looks more like his father than any of his other children.
Yeah.
And that's what was stated.
Well,
that's why Catelyn hated him so much, because he looked more like Ned than any of her kids did. That's part of why Catelyn hated
I thought
him, should say.
Caitlyn hated him mostly because he was a bastard.
But yeah, but he was a bastard that every time she looked at him reminded him of Ned. So she could see Ned in Jon every time she looked at him.
Okay.
You read
All
the
right, but
books.
anyway, but yeah, I know. But I thought it was an obvious nod to the Rhaegar plus Lyanna
Well,
Stark.
that's exactly what they're doing. They're changing the
Yeah.
facts of things that was said before.
Okay. All right. So, anyways, there you go. You're right. The whole Thoros
Thoros Amir.
you know, with Marymount talking about being the brave guy, and I thought it was pretty funny that Thoros basically admits, you know, I was so drunk that day I don't even remember. I was blackout drunk.
That was good, yeah.
And he's like, oh, so honorable. Another thing that I liked was, of course, you know, Thormund and his Brianna references are pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, he's provided some great comic references, and I love it. I think it's really funny. But I do enjoy the conversation that he had with Jon Snow in regards to kings and bending the knees and prides and how many lives it costs.
Yeah, another thing that...
You know, so I do...
The exact same conversation that Jon had with Mance, where Mance said, this is not about pride, and if you don't understand that, then I can't explain it to you.
Mm-hmm. You know, so I do like that, and of course it was foreshadowing that, you know, he's going to, you know...
Bend the knee.
And maybe... Bone Daenerys. I mean, marry Daenerys. But so to be, you know, the joint King of the North and the new queen. But maybe. But I do like the fact, you know, those are the things that I took away from it. And I did like the fact that they're on the rock in the middle of the frozen lake, and they're all the army of the undead chasing them. And they all stop because they keep the ice breaking in. I did think that was pretty cool, and I was like, yeah, that's almost like kind of like a D&D encounter. What do you do now? Now let's
You have Gendry run back. Apparently, he became Flash because in the hours and hours and hours they walked, he made it back pretty freaking quick.
Is he quicker than Barry Allen? Because I heard everyone is.
Now hold on a second. Listener feedback teaser. There is a question in you and me about the Westeros time travel possibilities.
Well,
so we don't have to get into that.
It got out of hand.
It's been getting out of hand for the past several episodes.
No, see, the only problem with, you can just say they weren't actually, you know, traveling real fast. They were just cutting out weeks at a time. Unless they were sitting on that frozen
the time
lake
it takes
for 4
Gendry
days.
to run back to the wall, to send a raven to fly all that way south, to the dragon to get on and fly all the way north. You're right. It was like, you know, speed up time travel.
Yeah.
You know, but okay.
Unless they were on that lake for 4 days.
Yes. Now, the Night King. Obviously a great javelin thrower.
Obviously. I was very disappointed at his second throw, though.
His second throw was missed the mark, and obviously, you know, before we were thinking he's got gold, but now he's probably bronze.
And as I heard someone mention, if he's that good at throwing javelins, why didn't he just spear Jon Snow when he was sleeping?
Exactly. But I do like the fact that Beric Dondarrion comes to the quick conclusion and is like, hey, you kill that guy, you end it all.
Yes.
Because of the basic first encounter.
If Anakin takes out the main computers, then all the droids stop working.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, Undead Dragon. I knew it was coming as soon as I killed the dragon. He went into the water.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I assumed there was going to be an undead dragon. I just didn't know they were going to kill one of their dragons and bring it back.
Right. All right. So, and then of course, you know, we talked about Night King, relation to Stark. Do you think he's a Stark?
I think he is.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember.
Because as Dr. Bednar has pointed out, there's a theory out there talking about how the Night King and Bran are actually one and the same.
Well, they showed, the flashback of the Children of the Forest creating the Night King.
Correct.
And I think that is, I can't remember where I heard or read it, but I think it was supposedly a Stark of some sort who they...
Yes, who the 13th, Watch Commander, blah, blah, blah theory seems to be... If you're not familiar with that, you can go look it up on the Wikipedia of Ice and Fire. Yeah, the 13th, the 13th commander was a Stark, married the Night Queen, blah, blah, blah. But they're kind of like mixing that theory with the theory that Bran is the Night's King.
I don't know.
And they're talking about, well, when he gets stabbed in the heart, when Children of the Forest were, stabbing him, Bran's grabbing his chest, blah, 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 blah. But I'm not sure about that. Now, contrived plot that seems forced and doesn't make sense. Arya versus Sansa.
Oh yeah, very contrived. It's like, really?
It's like, really? What? And it's almost to the point where it doesn't make sense, and it's really annoying. Is like they're really trying to drive a plot wedge between the two.
Oh yeah.
And it feels completely contrived and forced, not natural.
And then even just as forced as much as Sansa sending Brienne away to go to whatever.
And Brienne was the one that would be able to separate the two, as Littlefinger was talking about. I'm like,
Littlefinger isn't this good, or at least this plan isn't that good. They're just too stupid to. The writers are just.
Well, at least Littlefinger's back to his scheming ways, other than standing in the corner, touching himself, going, Sansa, But and finally, they need a White Walker for proof. That's the whole point of them going north of the wall, right?
Again,
the
whole point of going was a stupid idea to begin with.
The undead bear. Didn't one of the NPCs die in that encounter?
I think a couple of them did.
Why not wait for them to turn and then take them back? Because they knew when Thoros was dead, like, we're going to burn his body.
Yeah. Or just take Thoros back with you.
Or exactly. And it's so irritating to me. Why not? That's when you sit there and say, hey, anybody make your knowledge checks? I mean, come on.
Hey, this red shirt died. We should just bring him with us.
Exactly.
Red shirts?
Yeah.
Star Trek?
Yeah, exactly.
They pretty much, there were 7 named characters in this party of 13, I think.
Ish.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they really established how many were in the party.
Well, if you count...
We had the main characters. Yeah. You had the player characters.
Yes.
And then you had some various NPCs. You had Henchman 1, Night Watch Guard 2, 1 and 2. And you're just like, well, the guy's dead. Why are you continuing on?
Yeah. Oh, wait, hey, we got a dead guy who will probably...
Who will turn to a White Walker?
Let's walk back when he turns into a White Walker.
Put him in the burlap sack. Exactly. Why do you got to keep on moving? I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed.
You just became Jerry Seinfeld.
I know.
you kill the head zombie and all the other zombies die.
They did that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
But I thought that was pretty cool when they did it, though, when Jon Snow goes to slice him and he breaks into ice shards. I thought that was pretty cool.
And then everybody else falls down.
And they all fall down.
Except for one, which
That's
I'm like,
pretty good.
why the hell is this stray guy hanging out?
Well, maybe he wasn't one of the guys turned from that guy.
Yeah, well, why is he in their party then?
Yeah.
Or why aren't there more of them?
He got lost.
But I was just following you.
I was just following you guys. But I do like the Hound when he picks up the rock and he like throws it and hits them.
Yeah.
And that starts.
And then
you realize they're semi-intelligent, not completely unintelligent.
But then he throws the second rock and it's like, oh wait, the lake is completely frozen over again.
Well, no, I like how they start coming instead of coming in mass, like a zombie horde. They all start coming in singular motions out one at a time, and then you're just like, oh shit.
And really, seriously, did we really fucking need the Deus Ex Machina of Benjen coming in? I mean,
Cold Hands?
yeah.
Do the theory that he's Cold Hands?
Yeah, well, he
Yeah.
is cold hands according to D&D.
Well, yeah.
But
But it was kind of goofy. Actually, I thought Jon Snow was going to die. And I'm like, they can't make him die. Which I
thought
was like,
Jon
maybe he's
was
going to become a
gonna-
white.
I thought John was going to come out of the water flying Viserion or something.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that would have been cool if John and Viserion bust through the ice.
it's true.
But no.
No. And then, of course, you got Danny and John in the end there,
Yeah.
holding hands.
And again, Danny, they're like, oh, we should go. Go, just give me one more minute. I'm like, seriously? You saw him get shredded up and fall into the water, and you
Yeah.
think he's going to make it back? I mean, there's a
Yeah.
chance. Okay, there was a chance because it did happen, but I mean, did in your mind you think, oh yeah, Cold Hands is going to come along? And
That's true. I almost thought Beric Dondarrion was going to challenge the Night King to a duel or something.
that would have been cool.
I thought that would have been neat and Beric die. And then
And
you're
go
like, oh
Thoros
shit,
to
maybe
raise
he's
him.
not Azor Ahai or the prince that was promised.
Beric
And
isn't.
we don't know.
I know.
He's the one with the flaming sword, though.
Jamie's Azor Ahai, the prince that was promised.
You think?
I heard that theory. I don't
Well,
think
the
it
other,
is, but
the
it was
other
an interesting
theory is
theory.
that it's, well, they even said it in the show that it's Daenerys because it's a.
Oh yeah, that's what they're trying to make you think.
Because it's a gender neutral pronoun in the
is it
language.
going to be Daenerys or is it going to be Jon? Which one is it going to be? And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's got to be neither of them.
Yeah. So, anyways, next
we should
week
wrap
is
this up.
next week is the finale. We should wrap this up because
Is next
Jason
week
is
the finale?
probably posting Jerry Lewis.
Season finale.
Yeah, next
Then
week.
there's
This
season.
coming Sunday?
Yeah, man, 7
I
episodes.
thought there was 2 episodes left.
No.
This next episode they said is the longest episode ever.
Yeah, it's going to be like
What? An hour and 11 minutes instead of an hour and 10?
It's like an hour and 26, I think I heard.
Ooh, cool.
No, that probably includes the.
But
Behind the scenes
everybody's
look.
going to it could be going to meet Cersei. Cersei's always too goddamn smart.
I still don't understand the whole plan of proving to Cersei that the White Walkers exist because even
the
if
truce.
Cersei 100% believes you,
Yeah.
she won't care.
Yeah, and
Even
well,
if she's like, "Oh my God, this is cool," the best that can happen is she'll just ignore it. The worst happens is she'll find some way to get the White Walkers to fight for her.
Exactly. Even in order to prove to everybody that the threat is real, I understand that part.
Well,
'cause-
everybody is Cersei.
Because everybody in Cersei, so I understand that intention. Here, this is what's coming. Blah blah blah. Even the Meisters and all that kind of bullshit. But here's what I want. Here's what I really really want to know, especially in this past episode. What the fuck is Bran doing? Isn't he the fucking ultimate spy because he can
Well, yeah, but
ward
his,
and everything, and he can see things through the trees.
but
and
his
see things
mind
with
is
it.
on the fritz
Yeah,
because he
because-
downloaded
oh, be-
everything too fast.
Oh my
He
god!
can't
Because he's
process
too
it.
Morrissey.
Yes, fucking Morrissey.
God.
He can't process everything
Oh yeah.
just
What
yet.
what is good Bran? What is Bran good for other than fiber?
Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
All right, but anyways, when the season's over, we need to have our Game of Thrones episode with Dr. Bednar because he's dying to talk about this stuff.
Alrighty then.
Me too. I can't wait to talk.
I know. What Jerry Lewis stuff have you been posting since we've been?
Nothing, just just the video. Just the video.
What else were you
Whatever.
posting?
What else?
Actually,
have
I
you
wasn't
posted?
posting much else. I was
What were
just
you
looking around.
Googling?
I was. I got onto an
Googling?
article of 15 forgotten and fascinating TV shows from 1987.
Good year for
20 years
TV
ago.
shows, huh?
Max Headroom,
I remember that. Go Headroom.
JJ Starbuck. It was a spinoff of 10 Speed and Brown Shoe.
Ah, because that was such a good show to begin with.
This was an underrated 1980 series with Jeff Goldblum as a karate-loving accountant. What was 10 Speed and Brown Shoe? I've never heard of that.
It was a very bad,
Obviously.
buddy detective thing.
The New Adventures of Beans Baxter. I remember that.
one.
I do remember that
was one
one.
of the first ever Fox shows. I think it was like the 5th Fox show or something.
It was a Fox take on Get Smart.
It was about a 14-year-old kid who became a secret agent or something.
You know who turned down the lead role? David Spade. I like this one. The Oldest Rookie. Paul Sorvino plays an aging desk cop who finally decides to see action in the streets. If Paul Sorvino can't sell you a TV show,
I thought you were going to say Paul Sorvino was an aging desk cop who decided to pitch in the
that's
major
what I
leagues.
thought.
Yes. That's what I was thinking.
Sorry, the Slap Maxwell story with Dabney Coleman
That
as
was on
Max.
for a couple of years, wasn't
Yeah, yeah.
it? Or, oh, wait, no, it was...
That was another
That
one
was,
of his.
yeah, Buffalo Bill, I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. I do remember Slap Maxwell.
And then the best one, Women in Prison. It was the Fox Network's overdriven urge to be provocative. A cute shoplifter is thrown in jail where she dwells with a murderer and a prostitute. Well, that seems
So,
like a slap shot.
Orange is the New Black.
That's what they said. It pretty much paved the way. I want to see Women in Prison now. Sounds like a Skinamax show.
It sounds very much like Skinamax.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Anything else we want to talk about? Dick Gregory died. Activist and comedian.
Didn't he run for president one year?
Did he? That's kind of odd. You never think celebrities would win a presidency.
Well, he didn't win.
Who's Dick Gregory?
He was a comedian. He was one of the first African American comedians to play in white clubs in the 1950s and 60s.
Okay.
And he basically broke through as the first African American comedian.
Before
stand-up
Sammy
comedian.
Davis?
He was,
Before Sammy Davis.
Oh, wow.
And he became an activist after that, like in the mid 60s and on up.
Because that was yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, you would know him if you saw pictures of him in that.
Probably.
Sonny Landham dies. Landham died.
Do I know who that is?
Yes, that is the Navajo Indian in Predator.
Oh yeah, I
remember?
saw that. He was
Actually,
a,
probably-
yeah, he's
I
a,
probably wouldn't remember. 'cause
he's a
I'm
Native
trying to-
I
American
don't know what
in
else
Predator.
he did.
I'm trying
I
to
can look.
forget that movie. 'cause
I
it was
did,
a
I-
terrible.
No, Predator was awesome.
No,
shit.
No,
There was
I remember
nothing
he
good about Predator.
he did pass away because I
He was-
remember seeing that photo.
Here's the sad part. He
Yeah.
was 76. It's like, dear God.
Really,
He
he
was
had the
in
big
Predator,
green, he had the big green bandana around his head.
and he was the one that laughed at the one. He was the only one that laughed at the joke.
Yeah,
The dirty joke in the helicopter. He was in Lockup with Stallone. Remember that one? He was in 48 Hours.
With Nick Nolte.
He was the poll worker.
48 hours.
I don't know.
He was Billy Bear.
Oh,
He was poll worker number 2 in Poltergeist. So there you go.
there you go.
And he last worked in 2009 in Mental Scars. He was Chief Bear. Yeah, he
didn't-
wasn't in a
yeah.
lot after that. But yeah, he played Pimp, the pimp in Maximum Force.
Wow.
But I always loved his character in Predator. I always thought he was one of the best ones. So he had the big knife.
I liked his scene in. I really enjoyed his cameo in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Was he in that?
Yeah, I think that was a different
jeez.
actor.
I don't remember.
Jason,
One Flew Over the
thanks for
Cuckoo's
killing my joke, Jason.
Sorry.
I didn't think it was
Sorry.
a very good joke.
I thought it was pretty damn funny. He was Big Chief. Anyways,
Nest. Moving on. Did anyone see the clips this week?
yeah,
I
was
saw
great.
for what you can see when you look through those.
No.
I had glasses and pinholes and paper. You can use a Cheez-It too.
I'm just happy that the news is done talking about it.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool.
It was pretty neat. I mean,
And we weren't in the path of totality.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, my only complaint is the amount of blood I had to clean up after I ripped out all those human hearts in order to stop the sun from being engulfed.
That
by
was
the
a
man.
very proud and brave thing you did. I
was.
appreciate it. How many
Thank you.
zombies were around you after the clips happened?
0.
Okay.
Because he ripped out their hearts.
That's
Exactly.
There was a.
Did you get any Audrey plants or something from like Little Shop of Horrors? Because apparently eclipses causes Audrey plants.
No, but what was really cool was the shadows from the trees and the tree leaves looked like they're in duplicate because of the eclipse.
Yeah,
that was really
kinda
cool.
Weird. I saw some pictures of that.
It was really neat. I did like that. I did have to tell the little kids that, the sun was not being engulfed by the moon and to stop screaming when I cut them open.
Why you cut them open? Mark from Tangerpound Network. We're on that. Tangerpound.
Yeah.
Hey,
He
speaking of
posted a
tangents.
picture- he's posted a picture of a guy, person dressed in the dinosaur, those inflatable dinosaur
Oh, yeah.
outfits, and he had a sign, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it says, "They told us it was just the eclipse
Eclipse.
too."
That's funny.
But 2024
Mm-hmm.
is the next big eclipse coming to the U.S., where Cleveland will be in the middle of
Ohio.
the path of
Ohio's
totality.
right in the path, right over Ohio.
I'm more excited about cicadas coming.
It kind of misses us in Cincinnati, though. Just barely. We're on the edge.
Can't we get an 100% eclipse?
Well,
Can't we?
Of the
Can't
heart?
we get an 100% eclipse? Come on.
No, we have to go to like Cleveland or
Get
something.
92%? No.
Indianapolis to get it.
God.
Even Columbus isn't going to get 100%.
Jeez, write your congressman.
We're just going to get. We're
I
just.
think Trump. We could blame Trump for that.
Blame Trump.
We're just getting the tip. Just the tip.
Yeah.
Nobody wins with that. Let's do some listener feedback.
Oh, I want to talk about Gen Con.
Oh, you did. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, you went to Gen Con this week.
I went to Gen
How
Con.
was 16 hours of playing Axis and Allies and moving literally an inch on the board?
It was longer than 16 hours to begin with.
Normally, I would say very exciting, but I didn't play any Axis and Allies this
Oh my
past
god!
Gen
So you had
Con.
fun.
Well, yeah, that too. No, it was really good. Again, another like 7th, 8th year in a row record-setting numbers, over 208,000 for the 4 days.
Whatever, it sold out.
It's sold out every day, and so I did get to play some good variations of role-playing games. We started out with the D20 Pro's 5th edition. You know, except the guy running the D20 Pro didn't know how to run D20 Pro.
That makes it difficult. Then.
Yes, it does. It became actually a game inhibitor than a game, prohibitor? No, inhibitor, prohibitor?
Did he just
Or
say he
advantageous,
knew
yeah.
how to run it so he can like get some?
No, it was D20 Pro essentially was running games using their virtual tabletop system with a touchscreen, big screen TV in the table.
Ooh, that
So
would be
in
kinda fun.
theory, if they ran it right, it would have been effing awesome. The problem is they didn't do enough training for the people running the games, and they didn't know how to run the system and the program. And they're using the latest version, which still is a little bit weird and buggy and different if you didn't know how to use it. So other than me and my buddy John, fraternity brother John, who go there together every year, we're the only ones that had any experience. I almost told John, I said, you know, I should go and sit behind the desk and run the game because I can do a better job. But it was really sad because if you're using that to increase your sales, that didn't work, especially for that session. And then what was really cool, we had a great, Gen Con is really good. You can get really good guys that Dungeon Master or Game Master games, or you can get people that have no clue what they're doing. So the second game that we had on the next day was a second edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Dragonlance game, Battle of Lemish. So usually, dealing with a lot of the Dragonlance scenarios post the Dragon War and all that kind of, and it was actually fun. And you know what? It was actually refreshing to go back to play some second edition AD&D, except
Back when it was done right with THACO and everything.
no, that was the biggest problem.
That's
The
oh,
THACO, the 2-hit armor class 0?
Yes.
After you get used to the better system
don't
of,
like the
of
better
increasing
system.
the
I'd
20
rather
armor
do
class,
THACO.
oh my God, everybody was so confused by it. We all had to keep referring to the DM. Hey, I rolled this, what did I get?
That's what I'm
And
going to
me,
do on the new
who
one.
grew up on the system, I had to sit there and go, bye. Seriously, until after a couple hours, and after you get used to it, then you're done.
I like your troopy dog.
Yes, but that's not what I actually used when I was game bro. But that group too. The other thing about Gen Con is when you go and play the groups and sign up, you either get people that are fun to play with, okay to play with, or people that are annoying to play with. And that group that we made friends with, they were actually very good. So I got the DM's name. I got the leader of the group. It turns out it was so easy because they were all friends. And it was just me and John who are the outsiders. And, of course, I guess me and John are pretty good guys to play with, if I do say so myself. And we all had a good time. And so we exchanged some information, and we're hoping to join up and play again next year with the same group in the
That's cool,
DM.
but was this a paid event?
Yeah, these are paid events.
If
These
they're
are
all friends, why do they all go to the same group when you can do that without having to pay for
Well,
it?
a number of them are actually event organizers and came to Gen Con to see how it was run because they do the PAX Con in
okay.
Atlanta and stuff. So yeah, so it was really good.
Did you get us free tables at PAXCon?
No, I can't go there. This is my one
You're
year.
not allowed to go into Atlanta?
That's right.
They ban you?
I'm only allowed to go to one
White
gaming
man,
convention a year. Or the one I could at least
You know
go
what?
to without
if
having
you bought
to
a tiny house, you could drive it to Atlanta.
Yeah, really.
And just do that.
No.
Set up shop.
And then the third day we played a game from Goodman Games, the Dungeon Crawl Classics, if you're familiar with those. And one of the guys there, Mike Evans, is a publisher, and he ran his own scenario using his own role-playing rule books in addition to the Goodman Games Dungeon Crawl Classics. And this guy was insane, nutty, insane. His buddy that came and gave him beer, he like offered everybody to drink beer, and I'm like, I would, but it's 9 a.m. in the morning. I just drank beer less than 10 hours ago, So I was like, I can't. I was like, thanks, but no. And he's swigging back beer. And,
Nothing wrong with beer at 9 in the morning.
Yes,
no.
there is.
And
How old did you get?
Yeah, jeez.
I mean, you passed me at some point, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty close to Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino at this point.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Well, I said that anyways.
So this is pretty interesting. He's got about a 2-inch thick rule supplement to Goodman Games that's published on his
Not
own.
impressive.
Yeah, it is. When you look at
2
that
inches,
tome,
that's it?
that tome, 2 inches thick.
6 inches is
a
average.
2-inch thick book.
A bone? What? What was that? Hold on.
No. And it's called Hubris, if people are interested into it. It's called a visceral campaign system. And this guy was on his feet the entire time. And we actually beat the scenario with an hour and a half to go. And he's like, you guys are the first people that beat the system.
Did you get anything?
No.
High fives.
T-shirts?
Just we got shorted an hour and a half on game time.
So he didn't throw something else? He ended it?
No, we were ready to go back into the exhibitor hall and anyways, and it was, but he was very energetic, very slightly eccentric, a good time, stayed on his feet the whole time, very, very fun, and he gave us warnings about all the PCs that have died in the systems, and we actually had 2 deaths in our party.
What?
But he immediately had another sheet. He's like, here's your new guy. And so my first guy lost. I was the first guy to die.
Oh.
But I said my second guy survived. Yeah, it actually was pretty hilarious the way I did. I was a thief. I failed the roll. I fell off the train, got ran over. It was pretty funny. Cut in half, etc. But overall, the Goodman Games are the guys running the Dungeons and Dragons, which is interesting. Interesting dynamic because Peter Atkinson, who created Wizards of the Coast, who made his money off of Magic the Gathering cards, who bought the failing Dungeons and Dragons from TSR, is now the guy that sold TSR to Hasbro, and it was like selling it to the dark side, and then step back, Pathfinder, who picked up from D&D's 3rd edition and moved it forward in the gap with the failed 4th edition from Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons. He's now the guy that owns Gen Con. D&D has basically removed itself from major sponsorship, and now the major sponsorship is Pathfinder, which is off of the original 3.5 Pathfinder, which is based on that 3.5 D&D, and he's the guy that owns it now. So I always thought that dynamic was kind of interesting to think about. Which is kind of sad because usually there's, big events and all that kind of stuff. And then there really wasn't big D&D or Pathfinder events. It's really devolved into just a big gaming show. The good thing about Gen Con was there'd be like a big thing, like D&D would put a big thing on, or Pathfinder put a big thing on, and big events and special events, stuff. And it just didn't happen this year, except I guess the big event this year for the 50th anniversary is they did have They Might Be Giants concert.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, but it's a concert, and I like the group. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like role playing related.
You're there to play
stuff.
games and
I'm there to play games, and I want to see game events. I want to see special campaign adventure settings released. I want to see that kind of stuff. And I mean, you having a big musical act there is kind of cool, and we did a pub crawl and all that other kind of fun stuff. And I thought I saw the guys from 40 going on 14, but I didn't try to hook up with them this year since they stood me up last year. But I think I saw them all over the place. But then I realized I was just looking at a bunch of old guys with ponytails, receding hairlines, and goatees.
That was them, yes.
But they're all over the place. It could have been them and several other people that weren't on 40 going on 14.
Did you see the pop-up
trivia?
They look like the gaming guy from You know, from Bart Simpson. You know, the
Comic book guy.
yeah, comic book guy.
Whose real name is?
I don't know.
Jeff Anderson.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, the receding hairline with the ponytail and the goatee. There are plenty of those people around. But, you know, exactly. Saturday's the best day because that's the costume contest. And, you know, they got the adult cosplay, you know, for dirty old men. And, I mean, for people that like costume play. And, you know, it's great to people watch and just.
Did your
good
slave
time.
Leia win?
No, I did not see a slave Leia there
did
this
yours?
year.
You
no,
dressed as Slave Leia.
no, my slave Leia did not survive.
You didn't shave. You
Didn't
didn't go
work.
fully committed.
I didn't.
That's why.
I didn't shave my chest. That could have had something to do
That's
with
the
it.
reason for it. You
I didn't.
blew it.
I didn't go with my swimmer shave.
Ah, good call.
You know.
You shaved your legs, but not your
Yeah.
chest, so it was just not good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all right. Next year you might win.
Next year, maybe. But you know, there were some pretty hot female barbarians running around in like fur bikinis and big boots,
I'm gonna say boots.
big fur boots. You know, if they were like a female version of pimps, you know, that pretty much would be like it.
Thanks, Blake.
You're welcome.
Listener feedback, Blake. Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, let's see. You know, we like to thank our listeners, and they're a very important part of our program. And that's why we dedicate an entire segment of our podcast to our listeners. You know, so if you like us, you know what you should do? You should pawn us off to a friend and have them listen to us. And then after that, you know what you can do?
Write a review on iTunes.
Wrong!
Okay. Stitcher.
Apologize.
Apologize for
You
having exposed them to us.
can send your questions to @BadIdeasPodcast on Twitter, at the History of Bad Ideas on Facebook, hobbypod@gmail.com, or snail mail. No, we don't do that. Who uses a post office? Welcome to 1955.
Do you also use a milkman?
Actually, that would be kind of fun. I would like to have some fresh milk. No one ever says I need some fresh mail, though. So who starts it?
So where else can you find us if you're looking us up? Aren't we like on a webpage somewhere?
We're on Libsyn. You can also find us on WeBeGeeksPC.com. Every Wednesday it drops. Also, any movie reviews we do, it goes there. And for the British folks, nerdly.co.uk.
Hello, Vicka.
G'day, mate.
Bloody wanker.
There you go, you cheeky cunts. So you can find us on nerdly.co.uk, along with some other great podcasts. 365 Flicks is there. Papa Addled podcast is a good one, too. So we're on Danger Entertainment.
Danger Entertainment.
And Tangent Bound Network. And Geek Life Radio, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, every Friday. We got through all that pretty easily.
Yeah.
Oh, and Apple iTunes.
And iTunes,
Right.
Stitcher, everywhere.
And leave a review.
Yes.
Leave an honest one, but lie. Make it 5 stars.
Yes.
5 stars, but then
5 stars, but write the real
5 stars, and then give us a B.
5 stars, and then give us a B
We're going to be
minus.
recording a lot of episodes at Comic Expo, so we need lots of questions. So please send them to us at Bad Ideas Podcast or on those other things, Facebook and all that stuff, because we're going to need to fill like a lot of episodes with this with questions. So help us out here, people.
All right.
Please.
Yes, people. And this is for you. Listener feedback. We're going to start with this guy named
8 pans.
Doug.
Can we give you a nickname?
Yeah. And he asked a very controversial question. He says, Ezekiel Elliott, for the nerd types that don't follow football, this is the running back for the Cowboys, Ohio State Buckeye, gets 6-game suspension in regards to alleged domestic violence. Ray Rice, 2 weeks. Josh Brown, 1 week. Kicker for the Giants. Ray Rice, of course, the running back for the Baltimore Ravens. Please explain how, if all, had the same offense.
It didn't. It has to keep getting worse and worse until.
But this is Elliott's first thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
No.
but
Technically, he's got a
Prior.
history of
no
questionable actions.
No. The thing is, Ray Rice getting suspended for 2 games didn't deter Elliott from doing it. So now Elliott getting 6 games will deter the next guy from doing it. If it doesn't, then he'll get 8 games.
You know what?
And until somebody just gets suspended for their career.
Yeah, but you know what? You're
know what?
You're punishing for other people in regards to the prior history of others, not what you did yourself.
Exactly, because they want to get to 0 tolerance eventually.
Zero tolerance on what? And who defines that? I mean, obviously
Well,
the
Roger
NFL does,
because
and
he's in
Goodell
charge of
does.
everything.
They just are signing it to a
I don't know.
4-year
I'm just trying
contract.
to come up
they're-
with an answer.
And that's the problem. Nobody has an answer because they're coming up with this stuff arbitrarily.
Well, they're making it up as they
and
go
not,
along.
and not really sharing any of the thought processes that go behind it or what
The thought
constitutes
process
something.
is if you do it, we'll make it up.
Yeah, and there's no like set standards of if you do this, you get that.
Well, they don't want to be set standards because then people will say, okay, it's worth
Yeah.
4 games.
And they're doing their own. Yeah, exactly. There's like they're picking numbers out of a hat, and they're essentially assigning their own punishment for alleged, trespasses. Alleged, things that you're not being found guilty for in a public court of law that prosecutors don't prosecute or et cetera. Now, there is some sketchy details in regards to the background of this, and they're doing their own investigations. But let's think about this for a second. You have an employer that's holding you accountable for actions you may or may not have done outside of the workplace, which is your own private life, that
Yeah,
has
but-
nothing to do
But if
with what you do in
makes
the office
them
or
look
on the
bad,
field.
If you go out and do something and it makes your employer look bad, they
Yeah.
have every right to let you go. or
But
to
did you
suspend
sign a contract or agreement
He did.
I don't know about this stating
did he
the
sign
things
an
that
NFL
you do
contract?
stating that you do in your own personal free time.
Did he sign an NFL contract? Because that's
I don't
every
know.
NFL
I don't.
contract.
I'm not
It
sure.
is. It is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, if you sign a standards of conduct, oath or statement, but then again, have you really violated the standards of conduct? Who sets the actual, parameters of acceptable evidence and stuff? Because his accuser. Not saying guilty or innocent. I'm
Well,
just
I mean,
bringing up
it's-
questions and pink elephants here in the room.
Well, obviously, if Roger Goodell sets it. I mean, the whole thing with the Tom Brady Deflategate thing. He got 4 games for not turning over a cell phone, basically.
But these are things that
Which
you,
I actually have an issue with because
Yeah.
I fucking hate Tom Brady and I fucking hate Roger Goodell more because now I had to take Tom Brady's side on that.
Yeah.
Well, why should you have to give up your personal cell phone
I agree, that's
to a
what I mean.
non-law enforcement entity?
And considering
because
it's
you
not,
signed a contract.
No, it didn't say that you had to do
that was
that.
personal property. That's not NFL
That's your
property.
personal property, man.
No, but it's your standards or whatever.
Standards
the
of
court
conduct.
of law sided with Goodell and the NFL on it.
Then why wasn't Tom Brady convicted of
he did-
game fixing?
Because he didn't get a
It wasn't
Like
fixing.
gambling, game
You
fixing,
don't
and play.
have to be convicted of a crime to be punished by the NFL.
That's right. You don't have to be convicted of a crime to be punished by social justice media folk either.
You're right.
And this is what I'm talking about. Ezekiel Elliott, although sketchy, may be innocent essentially in all of these incidences. Of course, he may be using bad judgment who gets himself into these incidents. He may or may not have done it or whatever. But this is the scary thing about society that's trending is that you are being basically judged and ruled upon with no evidence, no facts, none whatsoever, and your life can be ruined in a drop or a moment's notice because of the social media society we live in today.
Yeah.
I mean, look at
and
that.
it's the society we live in.
And then that's sad. But should he lose his job over it?
He's not.
If he's not really convicted in a court of law?
He's not losing his job. He's just getting a suspension.
Which will probably be even knocked down to 3.
He'll probably be knocked down.
That's true. But what I'm saying is a dangerous precedent.
it is.
It's like you
But
don't want
honestly,
you don't want
You can lose your job if what you did makes your employer embarrasses your employer.
yeah.
The
but
damn
thing.
neo Nazis, a lot of them lost their jobs after just being at that damn rally.
True.
Just because they embarrassed the employer because it's like
Freedom
we
of
don't
speech. You have the right to say anything you want. Doesn't mean there's not repercussions for that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Freedom of speech means the government cannot go after you or prosecute you for saying something.
But private enterprise
Private
can.
Yeah.
They can get rid of you for being an idiot.
Yeah.
On a side note, thanks Doug for that question.
Yeah.
On a side note,
Thanks.
though, on another
Did we
side
answer
note,
your question?
on another side note, Jeff, I actually like your answer better than Roger Goodell's answer. So there you go.
Oh, really?
I did.
I don't know what Roger
I don't
Goodell's
agree
answer
with it completely, but I liked your answer.
Oh, I don't even agree with my answer completely, but I'm just saying that's what the reason is.
On the positive, Roger Goodell is getting a 4-year contract extension.
Oh, yay!
Well, basically what it comes down to, if you can make them money,
Yeah.
you can get away with things eventually.
On a side note, I am buying Madden. Just pre-ordered Madden on PlayStation for the first time in 6 years.
Yeah,
Good for you.
because your wife let you.
No, I put the foot down.
No, she doesn't know yet.
No, she does. She did. She did.
Oh, wait a minute. Just one of your kids were playing with the PlayStation and ordered you a couple copies? Give me the extra copy, Jason. I'll take it.
Yeah, the best part is they wouldn't. PlayStation is having some issues on their store running credit cards.
Yeah.
And my credit cards worked all well until I went to the forum and it wasn't working. And everybody's like, yeah, Sony doesn't like money, basically. Like, there's a bug in their system that can cancel your card. Like, it won't accept your card for, like, weeks on end, and then it'll accept it again. And so I was like, that's odd. And they're like, yeah, they won't fix the bug. So basically, I went on to Amazon and bought $75 worth of... PlayStation gift card and just did it that way, which
There
you
you
probably
go.
should anyways for safety reasons.
Yeah.
True.
Don't give PlayStation your credit card.
So anyway, so I did that. I was like, and then I texted my wife, I bought $75 in gift cards, just to let you know. When you see the
Now,
amount.
before you logged on to Amazon to buy those gift cards, did you go on through Salty Language?
Yes.
All right.
I should have. Son of a shit. But yeah, it comes on Friday. It's a direct. I did a digital download.
Yeah.
And my son's actually happy. My son's getting to the age that he's liking those games. So I thought, you know what? I haven't bought one in 6 years. I'll go ahead and do it.
Yeah. But anyways, for new listeners that are listening, Jason has a story about how his kids ordered PlayStation games by
My
accident.
1.5-year-old, I came home one day from golf,
Sure,
which is
it's
a rarity in
1.5-year-old.
itself.
That's right.
And she was up in the video game room pressing the button on my PlayStation, and she ended up buying me Star Wars Battlefront the day it came out.
That's a
Or the
great
game that was
man. That's a
pre-ordered.
great lie, Jason.
Well,
That
Jason
is
put it
awesome.
in his basket and said, "Here you go, darling. Whatever you do, don't repeatedly hit this button."
Man, you know what?
Might be correct. No, I didn't.
You know, the next time I watch my niece and nephew, who are 2 years old, I'm gonna have them buy stuff for me too.
Like $200 worth of songs
That's right.
on Rock
They're
Band.
gonna buy me $200 worth of Rock
Time
Band
out.
songs.
Since you're living with your in-laws, since you're George Costanza, we'll get to that in a second. Are you rocking out in their basement
No,
with Rock Band?
but I have brought my PlayStation and Rock Band guitar just in case. My goal is, if everybody doesn't know, Thursday I become officially homeless because I've sold my house and haven't found a new one to live in.
So you're
I'm
the
moving
homeless
in.
crazy guy now.
I'm moving in with my in-laws. I've achieved my dream.
Of living in someone else's house.
Exactly.
Did you become squatters' rights and kick them out?
No.
My house now. You're out.
No, my goal is to be as invisible as possible. But I've already been lectured on turning lights off because
Here,
they have a
$6.
great energy usage history, and leaving lights on is gonna ruin his record of low
oh, he's more worried
electricity.
about the record than actually paying for it. Huh?
That's awesome.
Here's $6 extra. Because the light bulb uses so much of that energy.
You know, my brother-in-law listens to this podcast. But, you know, yeah, I'm sure he's laughing right now anyways, too, because he knows everything. But, you know, but you're right. My intent is to be as invisible as possible. I've already helped fix his internet and Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. And,
Plugged it in.
no, it needed an upgrade. It needed an
So
upgrade,
did
and
you
we
fix
got
it
him
for
to
him to be a good
consistent.
son-in-law, or did you just were like, I can't fucking play PlayStation this way. I got to upgrade.
No, in order for me to work from home,
You needed to upgrade.
and my wife, and everybody in
And
the
to
family,
stream
everybody in
Game
the
of Thrones.
and everybody in the extended family's been complaining about it too. So in all honesty, you know, we'll be making things even and fair and paying our fair share for everything. But I just thought it was pretty funny, you know, conversation. But no, my goal is to be as invisible as possible, and me being able to play Rock Band on the big screen, which requires a light bulb. In order to watch things on that, it has to be bulb worthy. Because the bulb has hours of life in it. You can only watch stuff if it's bulb worthy. And, you know, my answer to that is, I'll buy you a new one. I understand. But there are some reasons for things in the background, such as life changes that are going on, and et cetera, and everything else. So I understand where the conservation comes from. So, in all fairness, they are being very generous, and we've been given a free pass, but we're going to pay anyways because that's the way I am.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that.
Exactly.
I don't blame you on that.
So they're helping us out, and that way I don't have to rush into buying a new house, et cetera, et cetera. I can find something that I want, and then in 20 years, when I maybe take one of them in, I can return the favor.
There you go.
There you go.
By pushing them down the steps.
All right.
No, by telling them to turn lights off.
I don't know what your issue is.
So now that we're an hour in, can we get 6 inches down the page?
Yes. Let's get to real quick. We'll skip around here. Regarding Hobie's MLB draft, let's do that first.
All right, go quick. Read.
Okay, we're doing right field.
You do
Right
it.
field.
Fast.
Every week, we do this thing of
Two players, draft a position. Go.
You grew up with.
Hobie,
Here we go. My picks for right field this week: Stanton from Miami.
Giancarlo.
Yes, thank you.
AKA Mike.
Yes, and Tony Gwynn.
My picks: Tony Gwynn, obviously best right fielder ever to play.
I knew that was coming for you.
And Ichiro Suzuki.
Suzuki was another close one for me. I like him.
And
since
apologies to Larry Walker, who I was thinking of, but Ichiro and Gwynn.
I thought I was thinking Dante Bichette.
I think he
was
played
left.
Yeah.
I like Suzuki just because he is the baseball all-time hits leader. I don't agree with that Pete Rose is.
Because we include stats from the Japanese league.
That's right. From Dev, the side guy, he had Gary Sheffield and Darryl Strawberry.
Daryl.
Apan's Doug had Roberto Clemente and Hank Aaron. Is he like 70?
I think he is.
Okay. Sean from Pittsburgh Nerd had Andy Van Slyke, which I really liked, and Andrew Dawson, the Hawk.
Would that be Andre?
Andre Dawson, sorry, not Andrew. That was
He added a W to his name.
Stupid intern. That was from center field, and then he's catching up. This week is Tony Gwynn and Darryl Strawberry. Randall Holt for right field had Tony Gwynn and Dave Winfield. Honorable mention, Dave Parker. I do like Dave Parker. Besotted Geek had Larry Walker and Brian Giles. You should listen to Besotted Geek and Pittsburgh Nerd, actually. Let's see. Des Hassing had Ken Griffey Jr. and Dale Murphy for center field. He's catching up.
He did.
And Tony Gwynn and Ichiro Suzuki. He was you this week.
Des was right for right field.
He's not right often, but he is right there. So if next week we will be doing DH. DH2.
That's an easy one.
If you would like to join us, just send us messages on Facebook or Twitter. You can catch up. Just pick two people at each position in baseball, and they have to have played during your lifetime. So there you go. Let's do some corrections, Jeff, Blake, whoever your name is.
All right. The first one is from Big Dev the Side Guy. Big Dev the Side Guy. Big Dev the Side Guy. All right, he said, if Hobie, because we're speeding it up. He said, if Hobie can claim that Michigan is Canada, which it technically is, and it's Ohio's hat, I can say, this is him saying, I can say everything is just outside Toledo is in Ohio. Well, you're wrong.
Well, I'm confused. I think he meant to say everything in Ohio is just outside of Toledo.
That's wrong.
Is that what he meant to say?
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm fine with it.
No, it's wrong because Toledo is actually part of Michigan. All right, next, Daddy Waffle.
It's just outside of.
Daddy Waffle at Matthew RMCD. Refrigerator peanut butter is the reason we have 2 jars. My wife will not concede the battle. Hashtag I'm right. Keep it cold.
I agree. Thank you. I am a big proponent of peanut butter in the fridge.
This was a big topic last week.
Yes, I lose every week.
This is a big topic every other week in our discussions.
All right, next one.
We pick future guests based on their decision on this one.
Peanut butter.
Yes.
Next one, Pam Morris.
Oh, Pam, Sister Pam.
She said, dragons do not have nipples. They lay eggs. Therefore, they are not milk-bearing mammals. And she rolled a 20 on her knowledge check.
Yeah.
Way to go, Pam.
You know, that was trying to be what my point was last week, except Jeannie kept interrupting me.
That's why we like Jeannie.
Normally, you get a +2 on your skill check when you're being aided. Jeannie was actually hindering, so it gave you a -2.
Yeah, I think I rolled a 2.
Exactly. Next, from the Pulp Culture Cafe regarding Game of Thrones. You can't tell me that the Dragon Lady does not have damp underoos for that Jon Snowflake guy. I mean, come on, right? Well, yeah, I think
she does have damp underoos for the Jon Snowflake guy.
Yes, she
What
does.
underoos does she have on?
Wonder Woman underwears?
Wonder Woman!
Probably fur-lined.
Ooh. That is
Well, since she went up north.
Yeah.
I kind
All
of
right.
like that.
Oh, by the way, Game of Thrones is bulb worthy, by the way.
Okay.
All right, so from Chris Richardson, question for Jeff and Blake. This is what I was teasing earlier. It says, does Westeros have warp travel? People were zipping about all over the place this week.
Was Zoom in it?
No, there was no
Reverse Flash?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, but you're correct. You know, the whole Gendry sprint, the Raven, the Dragon, and the whole like Dothraki horde crossing a continent, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Limey.
Wouldn't it be great if they went into a cave and just zipped out somewhere else?
Yeah, but, you know,
Warp caves.
Yeah.
There you go.
That
There you
would
go.
make
dimension
life so much
doors.
easy.
Yeah,
Yes.
dimension doors.
Yeah.
All right.
Teleport without error.
Yes. Next, Captain Admiral Kirk. Blake leaving his in-laws makes me laugh. I'm glad it does somebody. Hey, can we film it and call it The Real Costanzas?
Yes, could you put that on our YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Please?
Yeah, I'll Periscope
Please.
things. There you go.
Hey, father-in-law, take a look at this! You're on YouTube! Get the fuck away from me!
No.
Are you using a light bulb on that?
He's a good guy. Stop.
I know he is.
That's right.
But it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, we have to blow it out of proportion to be funny. I know, exactly. I'm, saying this
You
for
just
my
don't want me to
brother-in-law.
kick out of the house.
All right, from Nikki, our favorite Kiwi from New Zealand, says, just an update, guys. Linda Carter may not be in the Wonder Woman film, because remember we talked about this and why
did.
we're disappointed, but she has a recurring role on Supergirl.
You know, I really keep wanting to watch Supergirl. I really need to give it another shot. It's not going to happen, but I would like to. I just ran out of time.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just far on the down the list
Yeah.
of things. I'm not opposed to it, but it's just. Although it is better than Riverdale.
I deleted Arrow. I'm going to watch.
Well, you can get it on Netflix.
Yeah, but I don't even care. I think I'm going to watch the last episode and then just start the new season. I heard I'm not missing much. On this
Are
past
they
season.
resetting after the new season?
A little bit.
Is there time travel involved?
I don't think there's time travel involved.
She spin the Earth backwards to go back in time.
Ah! Okay, wait, we got some listener reviews.
All right, so listener reviews. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about Defenders this week, because apparently a lot of people talk about the Defenders.
On Netflix?
I watched The Defenders.
The whole thing?
It was only 8 episodes.
I know, I was just asking.
Yeah, the whole
and they were
thing.
less than an hour, a lot of them, too. They were like 37 to 50 minutes, a lot of them. I'm 3 episodes in. I will finish it this weekend.
Okay. Well, what do the
Listeners
All right,
think.
we're going to start with Chris at our 365 Flicks wankers from across the pond.
Good day, mate.
Said, I'm really enjoying it. My only criticism is that there's a lot of scenes in the dark. Sometimes a little difficult to see everything.
I agree.
correct is
I agree.
true?
From Nikki, the Kiwi. Was a fun series. Really like seeing all the characters come together.
That was the best part, was the character interactions.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, what's this coming together thing?
Come together.
It's
Right.
characters from...
Group sex?
No.
It's an orgy.
It's
Oh.
characters from Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist.
Oh,
are coming together
so
to fight a common
I should be going to
evil.
Netflix, not Pornhub.
Yes.
Well,
God dang it.
The Pornhub one is kind of fun, too.
Is there a Pornhub Defenders?
There will be. Next week.
Next, Jeff Morris. Episode 3 of The Defenders is better than anything yet far in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Episode 1 had me really concerned. It seemed without direction. Episode 3 was great. So great. Hashtag F Iron Fist. You said you first saw the first 3.
I
you
did
saw
like.
episode
I
3.
watched. I actually did watch episode 3
Third
last night.
episode was really good.
Yeah.
I won't say
Mm-hmm.
it's better than everything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I like how they were all coming together at the building, like for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was kind of goofy, but it was kind of fun because I was like, ooh, here we go, here we go. And it was funny. They had Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, like all were going for a reason. And Daredevil was like, I'm just following you. I'm just going to show up. Hi.
Yeah, well, he was Jessica Jones's lawyer.
Correct.
And was following her to make sure she stayed out of trouble.
But it was a fun fight scene.
It was a good fight scene.
Yeah.
Cool. Next is from Apans, who obviously read Scab Jeff's review. Says, Scab Jeff is right. Episode 3 is great. You'll love it, Jason, when you see it in November.
I saw it this weekend.
No,
This past
episode
week.
5 will be November.
Yeah,
There
maybe.
you go. Next, Captain Admiral Kirk said, I saw The Defenders and was so disappointed. Uh-oh, this runs counter to you guys.
I know.
The new Spider-Man cartoon is better. I watched episodes 1 and 2. It was good enough.
Oh, no, I'm going to say it's not counter to me. I was a little disappointed
Overall.
overall. I was agreeing that episode 3 was a really good episode. Episode 4 is a good episode. Overall, it's a little weak. It's pretty much a continuation of the Iron Fist story.
Iron Fist.
With a little bit, and a continuation, I suppose, of where Daredevil left off.
Yeah.
With Luke Cage and Jessica Jones in there because they're the best part of the show.
I did finish Luke Cage.
I know you did.
I was pretty happy with it. Gave it a B-, and that wasn't a joke. I really gave it a B-. I thought the first half of the series was awesome, and then I feel like the Netflix shows could be about 10 episodes and be better. You could get rid of 3 episodes.
I'll agree that they could have been pared down a little bit and been better.
And I did tape the new Spider-Man cartoon series on Disney, so my son and I are going to probably watch that this weekend. I'll let you know.
I did not tape that and don't intend on watching it.
Well, fuck you then.
All right, then wrapping it up, Professor Number One and Doctor Number One said, if you could pull down a statue, which one would it be, and why did you say Pete Rose?
Oh, well, I guess he answered it. Pete Rose would be the statue I'd pull down.
I couldn't argue that one.
No. I wouldn't want to.
Did Pete Rose wait until his statue got up before he decided to get all this crap of his
Allegedly!
of his alleged
affairs?
Disturbing.
I think so.
Statutory rape.
Yes.
Now would be the perfect time for him to go into the
underage
Hall of
sexual
Fame.
encounters.
Yes, but it was 40 years ago. So
not
really
him underage.
The best is that the Philadelphia Philly organization just destroyed all the bobbleheads.
Yes. You imagine the
Wow.
people who saved a couple of them, how much
Yes.
those might be worth on the...
It came out a week before the Philadelphia Phillies were going to honor him, so they had 40,000 bobbleheads, and then it came out and they said, we're just going to destroy those.
We're canceling that and destroying all of them.
And that was a waste of money.
Yes. So, thank you, Blake, for your listener feedback. That was like on 2 times speed.
Yeah.
What do we want? Draft day! Draft day, draft day, I want a draft day. Hobie. Draft day, we need a draft day. Hobie, history, bad ideas, yeah! Draft day!
All right, we're bringing back our favorite segment of Draft Day. We're coming up on all our fantasy football drafts in the next couple of weeks, so we want to get into practice. And so we're going to be drafting a baseball movie.
Yes, that makes sense. Please tell fans real quick what draft day is.
Draft Day is where we will pick a movie or a team or a group of people and draft who we would put in that place if we were running it.
Fictional, non-fictional characters.
Just anything out there in the ether we can draft and put on our team.
Anything goes.
Yes. And our
But
fans
once someone drafts somebody for this draft, they're off the board.
That's right. And this is actually from Thomas Kirk, Captain Admiral Kirk.
Captain Admiral.
So if you got one, send it on over, and we'll be more than happy to draft every couple weeks.
And then if you send it over and we do yours, then you get to pick who wins.
Captain Admiral, the pressure is on you. Who are we drafting this week, Jeff?
This week we are drafting Durham Bulls from Bull Durham.
We got 4.
We are drafting Crash
3
Davis.
Durham Bulls.
Yeah, 3 Durham Bulls and a Durham Bull groupie.
Yeah.
So we got Crash Davis, is played by Kevin Costner, veteran baseball player who has made a respectable career of playing catcher in the minor leagues. We got Annie Savoy, is played by Susan Sarandon, an adjunct English professor in the local community college and is passionate fan of the Durham Bulls. She looks over the prospects before drafting one player to be her special project for the summer. We got Nuke Lelouch, is played by Tim Robbins, a pitcher who is considered a top prospect because he throws tremendously hard, but is also very wild and somewhat immature. And Larry is played by Robert Wool. He is the pitching coach of the Bulls.
You don't see much of Robert Wool anymore.
Yeah, ever since Batman.
Yeah. Blake, you go first. Who are you drafting?
Man, I don't know who my first round pick should be.
Uh-oh.
This is tough.
Don't be Crash Davis, because I only got 1 pick for Crash Davis.
All right, I'll start with Crash Davis.
Son of a bitch.
You set that one up.
Because
I know, but I thought he would be nice to me.
Because he's no. Why would I be nice
No,
to
he
you?
wants to win.
Actually, hold on a second. We have to ask, one of our favorite all-time listeners, El Heno. Mm-hmm. Well, where's our new music?
Yeah, he said he was going to write us a song after we did
At
that.
first, I gave him a free pass because he was getting married,
But that's been months.
and then he had a honeymoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to blame the delay on his Antifa activities.
Oh, okay.
He needs to stop with his Antifa activities and get down to things that matter.
That's
Like
true.
our new
Like
song.
our song, yeah.
Exactly. All right. So, anyways, Crash Davis. Fuck you, Jason. I'm starting off with Crash Davis.
All right, who are you picking?
Veteran baseball player. So I gotta think of a veteran pro sports guy, respectable, but yet on the downside, the denouement. But you can make a movie about him. And I thought this sounds like Roy McAvoy.
Oh, I liked it. Tin Cup.
Oh, I sense a theme coming.
I sense a theme too.
Because, and you really think about the way movies have gone with Kevin Costner the past several years. I mean, he did star in Draft Day, which is the origination of Draft Day, this segment. You know, he has kind of become Tom Cruise-ish, hasn't he, in his order? Where
what
he's
way?
kind of like replaying the same character over and over
Oh,
again,
yeah.
just in different settings and time
But
periods.
he does the best when he's playing an athlete or something to do with athletics.
Correct.
Those are the best movies he does.
So I couldn't think of a better Crash Davis than a Roy McAvoy. Like, ball,
Oh.
you know, stubborn,
Yeah.
you know, but still trying to, you know, teach the younger guys and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm going next. I'm going to steal.
So I
I'm
didn't.
going next, so I can't
Yeah.
take your pick, which
Now-
I'm guessing.
Now, Jason, I
Right
did
there,
not.
that's
I did
who
not.
Jason's gonna pick.
I did disappoint you because I didn't pick who you thought I was probably going to pick. Right?
You did.
I
This guy I
scared
have
you.
right here is who Jason's going to pick.
Go ahead and pick.
Jeff
Go
may
ahead.
be
Be
scaring
an
me at the
asshole.
moment.
You can go next.
No, go ahead.
I am picking John Hamm.
Oh, that isn't who I thought you were going to
Yeah,
No.
for Crash Davis.
Well, you were worried about us stealing that?
Hey,
Yeah.
wait a minute. That just means you just bumped into the pick that Jeff was going to take because Jeff never got to say who he was taking.
I'm taking Crash Davis. Let's see, John Hamm. The only reason I didn't think you would steal him, but I had no one else that I could do for John Hamm or for Crash Davis.
Okay. Yeah,
I like
because
that
I
one.
actually have two, and now they're both there. But-
Okay, I'm going John Hamm. I think he could pull it off. He's funny but serious, and good romantic lead, but he's athletic. So I'm going John Hamm. Maybe a little bit older than I wanted, but not bad.
All right. Well, I'll go for my Crash Davis.
It's a run on crashes.
It is. Might as well get him out of the way.
That's right.
But I think I'm going to go. It's between two. But I think I'm going to go with Gus Sinski. He was the catcher from For Love of the Game.
You know what?
What?
He was. I did think about him earlier today. I thought, I got a good.
It was going to be between him and Jake Taylor. Both of them
Oh.
are superior baseball movies to Bull Durham.
Yes, they are.
Which means I just lost this draft day.
Oh,
Bull Durham
Maybe
is a little
not.
overrated.
Bull Durham was funny.
It's funny, but it's
I like
a
it.
little,
It's funny,
good.
but For Love of the Game and Lady
Major
League
League.
are both better.
Yeah.
Little Big League is better.
But I'll go for the better Kevin Costner baseball movie and pick
Okay.
Gus Sinski as my Crash Davis.
It's not a snake draft, so Blake, your second round pick. Who are you going with?
All right. My second, third, and fourth round picks.
You only get one this round.
I know, but they're all kind of grouped together. And
Well, we
it's,
won't
it's,
steal
it's
them.
the whole dynamic of this cast is what's going to make these picks
So
great.
hope we don't steal them because you only get them one at a time.
Annie Savoy.
All right.
Who's Amy?
You know, I need the next
That's
best
Susan Sarandon.
actress. You know, she kind of like, makes herself out to be a big deal and basically toys with this little local, minor league baseball team, plays with the men, uses them, throws them aside, etc. Kind of makes it her, she picks special projects for the summer and all that kind of stuff. And even though my original thought was to go a little older, I kept thinking, this is kind of like something that a rich woman would do that could act without, repercussions and get away with it. Because what guy isn't going to turn her away? So my Annie Savoy will be played by Ivanka Trump.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, just you wait.
I'm worried now.
I got to.
Jason?
Oh God. I'm going my Annie Savoy. God. I'm going smart, sexy, can be romantic, can be just
Uh-oh. Don't take mine.
Diane Lane.
You didn't take mine. Woo.
Diane Lane. I thought about.
That's a
Diane
good
Lane
pick.
would do good.
That's
I
a good
agree with
pick.
that.
I like me some Diane Lane.
I thought about Katie Seagal because she can do a lot. She has a big range too.
Diane Lane's better.
Yeah. And my other pick was, nobody was going to pick this one, Susan Sarandon's character from White Palace, Nora Baker. But I stopped. No, so I'm going Diane
Could be.
Lane.
Yeah.
Diane Lane, excellent.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, I'll save my Annie for later since you guys have
Okay.
already filled that spot.
Yeah, so that's a safe draft pick.
Yeah, and I'll go with my Larry, the pitching coach of the Bulls. Mm-hmm. And I think I got to go with somebody I think who really lead the team to victory. And I'm going with Mike Wazowski, the Billy Crystal character from Monsters Inc.
Which character is this? I'm sorry.
Larry,
Larry Robert Wool.
the
Okay.
pitching coach.
I like it. He is a good coach for Salty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets him in there, gets him pumped
That's a
up.
weird fucking movie you got going on there.
All right.
I thought about taking characters from other baseball movies, So
That's kind of easy.
I thought about taking, what's his name, Lou Brown, right there. And
Well, I'm
whatnot.
crossing him off my list. That was on my short list.
You can still take him, but I decided to go with what I thought. If I'm putting this movie together, what I want to see, and I want to see Mike Wazowski. I can't even say his name, but
Mike Wazowski.
coaching my Durham Bulls.
Okay.
Round 3, Blake.
All right, so third pick, I gotta go with Nuke LaLoosh. You're thinking, a very promising athlete. Could make it to the top.
Unless the
Has some
Browns take
problems.
him.
Has some problems, right? Talented, but has some problems. Needs guidance and mentorship.
Oh God, don't.
Very
don't
susceptible. Very susceptible to female influences and manipulation. I couldn't think
McConnell?
of any better athlete to play this part than Colin Kaepernick.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay.
Yeah, he can be led astray real easily.
Kind of tough to pitch from your knee.
Okay.
Moving on. Let's see here. I'm going my Nuke LaLoosh, Tim Robbins as well. This is a tough one for me. I didn't really know who I could go with, and I thought he could pull it off. Channing Tatum. I feel like he's goofy enough that he could do it.
All right.
I'm going with Channing Tatum.
Sure.
Yeah. Not a bad pick.
And I kind of want to see John Hamm and Tate's in a movie
Yeah.
together.
Maybe this 21 Jump Street character.
Yeah.
Kindish, yeah.
I like that. So I'm
With
going.
Diane Lane in between them.
Oh God! Don't get me warmed. Oh.
Don't get him horny.
God, there's some warmth in my nether regions.
I suppose my third round pick. I think now it's time to go for my Annie Savoy.
Okay.
I think I'm going to pick the TX from Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. It's played by Christina Loken.
She is quite attractive.
She is quite attractive and takes no shit doesn't take any shit from anybody.
Okay.
So I'm going with the TX.
That's a horrible pick.
It's a great pick.
So you did not win today. Go ahead, Blake. Finish it up.
my movie will be better than yours.
I just want to see Mike Wazowski and TX just talk.
Well,
What's your last pick?
last pick is Larry, the Robert Wool character. The pitching coach of the Bulls.
Yeah.
The old guy who kind of knows what he's doing, but not really. Gives a lot of useless advice. Really no help at all, but he runs everything, and his advice really doesn't matter. Because he doesn't know what he's doing.
All right.
So I figured I need that kind of guy to help out my Nuke LaLoosh, balanced by Roy McAvoy and being seduced and used by Ivanka Trump. And I couldn't think of anybody better to symbolize this guy than Bernie Sanders.
Wow. Okay.
Does everybody get in free for the games? Do they just give away tickets?
Yeah, it goes against the whole concept because Larry, the head coach, he actually has like 3 summer houses, but yet he's still supposed to be poor.
So I'm going the goofy old guy that thinks he knows everything but is clueless. I'm going, there's only one, Frank Reynolds, Danny DeVito's character from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Not bad, but I think I at least won in that spot because Mike Wazowski, I think, is a better pick.
He might be, but I like the Danny DeVito. He brings the toe knife out, so that's going to be a good
the
sign.
toe knife is a good one.
If only he could be the owner of the Durham Bulls. That would be more fitting.
That would be.
You're
I
right,
like
the
it.
head coach. But I do like it. That's good.
My other option was Thomas Kirk. I was going to kiss some ass there. But
gotcha.
yeah. we're going Frank Reynolds.
All right, well, my
Last pick, Mr. Irrelevant.
here. I got Nuke LaLoosh left on mine. Like I said, I was thinking about going all other baseball movies, and I was thinking like a Henry Rowengartner from Rookie of the Year might be good here because he will throw the ball hard. But
Did you turn your phone down?
Fucking phone off.
well, then quit texting me.
I'm not
I
texting
already
you.
did that. That's what's bothering me.
I'm not texting you at all. Anyways, go ahead, Jeff. Who's your what's his face? What's your fourth?
But I decided, something, somebody who can like throw the ball like real hard, but not necessarily all that accurate.
You?
I can't throw the ball hard. Please. No, for Nuke LaLoosh, I'm getting a trebuchet.
Just a regular Trey Boucher.
Trebuchet.
Who is this Frenchman you're talking about? Mr. Boucher.
I mean, it probably acts about as good as Tim Robbins
I
anyway.
want to see.
so-
I now picture the Trey Boucher pitching, but instead of a baseball, it's a fireball. Wow, that's the third person we burned this week. I like it. So, Jeff, what's your team?
My team, I got Crash Davis as Gusinski, Annie Savoy as the TX, Nuke LaLoosh as a trebuchet, and Larry as Mike Wazowski.
I want to see your Annie get it on with the Trey Boucher.
She is a machine.
That's
knows
true.
how to do it.
Mine is Crash Davis as John Hamm. Diane Lane plays Annie Savvy.
Savoy.
Thank you. Nuke LaLoosh is Channing Tatum. And Frank Reynolds, a.k.a. Danny DeVito's character from Always Sunny in Philly, is Larry, the pitching coach. Jeff or Blake? Oh, God. Go
All
ahead.
right. So, anyways, my Crash Davis is Roy McAvoy from Tin Cup.
You started off
the
high.
washed-up old professional. The English professor, community college, boy toy prospect using chew 'em up, spit 'em out lady, Ivanka Trump. My Nuke LaLoosh, my talented, athlete with a lot of, promise and vigor, but, yet ignorant and misguided sometimes and needs guidance.
Eric
Colin
Trump.
Kaepernick. And, the manager who spouts off a lot of wisdom that doesn't amount to much of anything, and that's Bernie Sanders.
Like the Kaepernick. At least he got picked up by some team.
Did somebody get him?
Yeah, Blake's
Yeah,
team.
my team. Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah.
The Bulls.
The Bulls, the Durham Bulls.
Yeah.
He's now on the Durham Bulls.
Well, the good news is, Kaepernick, you got picked up by a team. Really? Who? You're going to Durham.
Yeah, very influenced by, radical females,
All right, so Captain Admiral gets to pick who he thinks won that one, and we'll announce that when he gets a winner to us.
Hey, Hobie listeners, what are you guys doing September 22nd through the 24th of 2017? Well, if you're in or around Cincinnati, or even if not, because we even have people come from the UK. Good day, mates. To the Cincinnati Comic Expo at the Duke Energy Convention Center. We got lots of guests. We got Scott Snyder, comic book fame, is going to be there. Maggie Jiha, who is also the Poison Ivy from Gotham. I probably said that name wrong. Also, Julian Glover is going to be there. Jason Isaacs, who's in the new Star Trek Discovery show. Also, Brett Iwan, who is the voice of Mickey Mouse. This, plus lots of exhibitors, vendors, everything else, cosplay, anything you need. Plus, on Saturday night is the Harry Potter Geek Prom. So, come September 22nd through the 24th. Get your tickets now at CincinnatiComicExpo.com. And Hobie will even be there, so you get to say hi to us. Doesn't that make your day? Thanks.
It's time for another installment of the News of the Geek.
Hold on to your horses. We got some good stuff now. Matthew Broderick. Deadline is reporting. This isn't even on the sheet from the intern. This just came in.
Ooh.
Reporting. See, I do work when you guys are doing talking Game of Thrones. Deadline reports that Warner Brothers is planning a Batman spin-off that will focus on the early criminal career of the Joker. However, this will not be directly connected to the current crop of DC movies of Suicide Squad and all that. In fact, Jared Leto will not be playing the Joker in this movie.
Nor Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson is.
They're bringing Heath Ledger in.
Here we go. Right?
CGI.
Writer Todd Phillips, who also did The Hangover, it's the first film under a new banner that is yet to be named, in which Warner Brothers can expand the canon of DC properties and create unique storylines with different actors playing the iconic characters. In other words, it's going to be a DC Films universe in which Leto is still on board for the present-day Joker in Suicide Squad 2 and Gotham City Sirens. But this is going to take place it's a prequel, and it might be a multiverse.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like how they always put out those one-shots that have nothing to do with the universe and comics. I don't have a problem with
Which
them
makes
going out
sense
with
if they're going to do Flashpoint.
No.
Oh, Flashpoint. Oh, yeah, that is going to be.
Is that an origin story?
Yes.
See,
We don't need an origin story. of the
Don't
Joker.
need an origin story. And,
Matter of fact, the Joker's much better without an origin.
exactly, because the ambiguity of the various
Yes.
origin stories that are out there, it's better him having the ambiguity than actually defining it and making it canon.
I still say I like the idea that there's, in comic books, the theory that there's 5 different Jokers through time. And, like, the reason is, like, the playful one in the 40s, or that was the 60s, I think. And then, the different eras had a different one take over the role. I like that idea. Of course, you know what I also like? Not knowing his origin. Sorry. The spinoff has Martin Scorsese on board as producer. So there you go. It's the intention is to make a gritty and grounded, hard-boiled crime film set in the early 80s. Nope. Don't need to see it.
No, early 80s. Then they can come across the X-Men from
Oh, that would be great. It could be
from the Age of Apocalypse.
Is Amy Pascal in charge of this?
Or maybe the Spider-Man with the rope
Oh,
from Webs.
yes.
That was on the TV show back in the day.
Mark, who was that? Mark,
the boy from a song of what's it from that musical? Deer,
a female,
a deer, a female. Sound of Music boy. The Sound of Music boy that played Spider-Man in the late 70s. I went the rope for a web. You guys remember that?
I do remember it.
Yes.
I remember because I always thought it was the one Hardy Boy was playing Spider-Man, and it turned out I was completely wrong.
Yes. No, he sang the Do Ron Ron.
Yes. No, the other Hardy Boy.
The other Hardy Boy. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he looked more like Parker Stevenson than no, I forgot his name. But I always thought it was Parker Stevenson, and I found out I was wrong, embarrassingly so.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hammond was Spider-Man.
Yes.
So there you go. Chip Fields was in it, and Robert Simon. Just give you an idea.
Whoever they are.
Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. That's exciting. Also, this is a fun little thing the intern found. That comicbookmovie.com had a clip of this. Basically, there's a new DC animated movie that came out, and DC animated movies are really pretty damn good. They're a little bit grittier than most. They're PG-13, and they're pretty well done. Not all are PG-13. The Batman ones are. So Harley and Nightwing hook up in the new animated movie Batman and Harley Quinn. Basically, Harley Quinn has an incapacitated Dick Grayson back in her apartment, ties him to her bed when she decides what to do with him. After stripping down to her undies and listing off her collection of outfits, she notices that Nightwing has been paying attention to her and is at full staff. And she decides to make the most of a hard situation.
Boo.
For a comic book movie.
Boo. Now, hold on a second. Go ahead. Now, the next line here in the
It's
reporting.
definitely-
Read the next line, because I have a
Definitely a
comment.
surprisingly adult scene in a movie we all thought looked to be aimed more at younger viewers from the trailer. And it's pretty funny to boot. I did watch
Funny
the
to boot. Now, hold on a second. Imagine the outrage if it was the other way around when she's incapacitated, takes her home, ties her up in the bed, and strips down and gets naked, and then.
Well,
gets
they do
funky
consent.
with it.
They do both say yes.
But I'm telling you, reverse the
Correct.
gender roles here, and you have a major problem.
You would have 50 Shades of
I
Grey.
actually kind of had a major problem when I read that. I'm like, seriously?
And that too, and even as it stands, still,
It's
But the kinky side of me says, yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, if he said,
Hey.
go ahead, tie me up, then that's fine. But if she ties him up and then
he was knocked out. She
Yeah.
ties him up, and she's trying to come back from her. She's trying to be a good guy.
Yeah.
And so she's conflicted on what to do, and then she's
she
changing.
rapes him.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, but seriously. But seriously.
So-
I mean, you could take it as it is. There's romance involved and that kind of stuff, and leave it as it is as a cartoon. But people are going to throw so many moralistic issues into this thing rather than just letting it be, because you can't do that anymore.
well, no, everything's offensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just offended sitting across the table from you.
Exactly. There were a lot of Harley Quinns again this year at Gen Con.
There always are.
Some
Always
of them were very attractive to look at.
Provocative.
Other ones, they
Creeped you
tried.
out?
They tried.
Maybe I should go as Harley Quinn.
Well, it's like the ones that are.
There was a guy that went as Harley Quinn.
All right.
It was kind of like the guys that
Did-
go.
did
as-
she-
Didn't do
have a
anything
beard?
for me.
Did his Harley Quinn have a beard?
Kept the beard.
it's like the
serious.
ones that cosplay as Green Lanterns. No, nobody looks good in spandex that
No.
tight.
But-
Don't do it.
But the thing is, you can just be any Green Lantern in the world or in the universe.
Yes, but they
because
all wear the tight spandex. Don't do it.
That's right.
I'll do it. I'm going as Green Lantern next time. You convinced me.
Yeah.
I'll be from whatever planet, or maybe I'll be a Red Lantern. How's that?
Let's see here. Quick couple things here per IGN. MoviePass announced its new price point, allowing buyers to subscribe to the service for $9.95 a month. Users then download an app and are mailed a debit card, which allows users to check into a movie at theaters once a day and see one movie every day. So not $10 is great. That's the
Yeah.
price of
That's the price of one
yeah.
movie. If you're seeing a movie a month, it pays for itself if you see a movie a month. If you see 2 movies a month, you're getting more
I
than
thought
one
about
movie.
doing this.
I'm still considering it.
System initially launched in 2010 with AMC Theaters as a major partner. They were originally as high as $45 a month.
Yeah, I think I do remember when that first came out. I'm like, that's more than I'll use.
They did fall down to $30 because I was listening to another podcast
Yeah.
a while back that it was down to $30.
The first thing I read was about this story was that it was at 30.
Yes. They lowered the price according to a the majority stakeholder, Helios and Matheson CEO Ted Farnsworth, basically in an attempt to bolster its customer base and collect viewing habit data from them. Blake, they're collecting viewing data habit from you.
Yes.
That's where it comes to.
Yeah, well, that's fine if I can, that's one thing they were saying. It's like, oh, yeah, you can see like 30 movies a month. I'm like, no, you can't, because if you read the fine print, you can't see the same movie more than once.
Oh, really?
was-
So you can't
I
borrow
understood.
cards in that way.
You can only get one a day. You can't, and you have to order it the day of, so you can't pre-order tickets with it.
Huh. That's interesting.
But it's like they don't release 30 movies a
No.
month, so you can see 30.
They barely make one good movie a month.
I mean, unless they're getting a lot of art house movies also on board with this.
AMC Theaters released a press release saying the company is consulting with its attorneys to determine if or how AMC can prevent a subscription program offered by MoviePass to be used in AMC Theaters.
Oh, AMC's trying to prevent it?
Yes. AMC is not opposed. Quote,
AMC was getting their money, so why should they worry?
AMC is not opposed to subscription programs. This one envisioned by MoviePass is not one AMC can embrace. We are actively working now to determine whether it may be feasible to opt out and not participate in this shaky and unsustainable program the company's release says.
I'll agree it's unsustainable.
Yes.
Unless they're finding other ways of making money off of the data they're gathering from you.
This is the
You've
best
seen the
part.
prices of popcorn, right?
Well, but that's the theater's making that money.
The movies that come.
The theater is getting paid the ticket price, and they're getting people in. I can't understand why a theater wouldn't want this.
Really?
It-
Hey, exactly. You're more prone to buy popcorn now.
Yeah, because I
have
don't
more
pay
money.
for it. Exactly.
And for $0.25 more, you can upsize.
I mean,
To the extra.
For
extra
25 cents more.
you get defibrillators.
the
Movie.
fun part is you're required to ask that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
MoviePass executive Mitch Lowe responded to AMC's comments, comparing that reaction to that of Blockbuster when Netflix and Redbox, both of which Lowe previously worked for, appeared in the marketplace. It's the big guy being afraid of the little guy offering better value. So there you go.
I still don't understand what AMC's problem is, because they're getting paid regardless, and the people coming into their theater are more apt to spend money at the concession stand.
Yes.
I mean, it is Movie Pass that's not making the money.
So that's a big thing. I'm sure go for it. Why not?
Because I mean, oh, hell yeah! If I don't even have to.
I'm
Although I'm used to doing those Tuesdays where it's half price tickets, so
a big fan of, you know what? Let's see what the market will allow. If people like it, it's going to succeed. If not, it's going to fail.
well, if they can find a way to profit from it.
Correct.
And like I said, I might be willing to go to $15 a month, but nothing higher than that. Really.
15 wouldn't be bad because that's pretty much what you pay almost now.
Yeah.
You pay about 12 or 13. Some quickies. Wonder Woman surpassed 800 million at the box office worldwide.
Yay.
And long rumored Star Wars anthology of Obi-Wan Kenobi is moving ahead with Stephen Daldry set to direct. He did The Hours and The Reader, so those are great.
Do what?
He
What
directed-
movies?
Yeah, exactly.
Obi-Wan can.
Huh?
You never heard The Hours and the Reader?
No.
Ewan McGregor.
Is that all one movie?
No, it's two different movies.
No. Pfft.
Two very acclaimed Academy Award winning movies.
Ewan McGregor has been adamant about his interest to return, but there's no information on that yet.
I would like to see him in that role.
I don't think you can.
He's
unless
the perfect age for it right now.
Yeah, unless I'm assuming it's taking place
In between. Tweeners.
Unless it's something that takes place before the prequels.
Oh, don't do it.
I could see a solo film, a one-off like Rogue One.
I have no issue with that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
I don't want a trilogy like they're doing with
No.
fucking Han Solo.
Oh, I thought it was a one-off.
Nope, trilogy.
Ah, Jesus.
Oh, they are doing trilogies.
Yeah, and they're doing
Well, they might not after this one fails because of all the problems.
Well, Ron Howard, one of the characters, I can't remember, he's an Emmy-winning character, like a really well-known one. He had a decent role in it, like a pretty decent size, and they just confirmed that he's been cut from the new reshoots, and they're not putting him in it now.
Wow.
So they cut his whole character out. Whoever it was.
So
like,
it was such a powerful role to begin with.
Yes. See ya. Have a good day.
Do you ever wonder when Spider-Man goes to the bathroom if the toilet paper sticks to his fingers?
Do you ever wonder why Superman wears his underwear outside of his pants?
My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
And we're your hosts for the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we sometimes try to attempt to answer these questions.
This is a full spoiler podcast, and we swear a lot.
Check it out for awesome geek news, interviews, and comic book reviews. Visit jockandnerd.com. We are your superhero TV, movies, and comic book culture curators.
Boom.
jockandnerd.com. Jock and Nerd!
Everybody's favorite theme music for Top 5. Top 5.
Yeah, what have you done for us lately, though, Heno? That's what I want to know.
He worked on his abs. Henno abs. Top 5 this week, in honor of Jeannie from Hobie being on our show last week. We're doing top 5 favorite seasonal beers. So, not the ones that are around all year, but just, for a couple weeks, like 5 to 8 weeks.
The ones that you can only get during certain times of the year.
That's right. I'm going to go first. My number 5 is root beer from the root beer stand in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's some pretty damn good root beer. You can buy it by the growler.
Where's the root beer stand?
It's up in Sharonville area.
Yeah.
So sorry for people not local, but it is an amazing place. It's an old diner like type thing. It's like an old drive-through
Drive-in.
Drive-in. Yes, thank you. And
You can
great
get
place.
root beer in a frosty mug.
Chili cheese dogs. Oh my god, they're so good. Foot-long chili cheese dogs. So root beer from the root beer stand, they make it. It's
Fresh.
their own. Yeah.
Fresh off the tap.
Yep. So, Jeff, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is the Abita Blueberry Wheat.
That's not a bad one. I like Abita a lot.
I love Abita. Like almost every beer from Abita I've had, I've enjoyed.
Okay.
You mean a beta?
I don't know if I've had
However I pronounce it is right.
Abita.
Because if you're saying a bitter, I'm thinking of a style of...
No, not a bitter.
Yeah.
Abita.
I thought you were trying to do
No,
like
I
a
wasn't trying to
365
do some-
flick.
No, I'm not
Accent.
the one that does accents.
No, obviously. Even when you do it straight, it sounded like it.
Abita.
Bita.
Is that better for you?
Bita. As in please.
Well, yeah. Abita.
Bita.
Yeah.
A beta.
It looks like a small eye to me.
Anyways, moving on. What's your number 5, Blake?
My number 5, I know I can only get this in warm weather. Of course, this one I've only had it, so I'm assuming it's only in warm weather. And this one's up by Big Dev's Way up there in Ohio's Hat. It comes from Dragon Mead microbrewery.
Okay.
And it's the Kaiser's Kolsch.
Oh.
Very good. Very
Dark
good.
beer?
No, it's a Kolsch. It's a
I don't know what culture. Sorry.
it's like a lager pilsner kind of beer.
Thank you for explaining that.
You're
and not
welcome.
making me feel like a dummy.
Yeah, I actually had to go into my
Tapped.
tapped into finding my 5-star rankings.
I would have done that, but
Untapped.
I had to delete my Untapped from my phone because I ran out of memory. And I got rid of everything I didn't use, so then Untapped had to go.
So
It wasn't something I used as frequently as the rest.
You still have Prinder though, right? I mean Tinder.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of my beers here are somewhat seasonal, from the best I can remember, and they're only my 5-star ratings on Untapped.
Okay. What's your number 4?
My number 4. This is a summer beer, and it comes from the Von Trapp Brewing Lager Company. It's from Vermont, and it's called the Golden Helles Lager.
I like Hellas's.
I know
like Helles's a lot.
I love Helles's.
Okay.
And it's a good summer beer. So I drink Helles's in the summer.
I don't have a problem with that at all. Mm-hmm. What's your number 4, Jeff?
My number 4, I kind of have a tie.
Okay.
They are my pumpkin beers for the fall. Or
Okay.
whatnot. Ooh. The problem is I don't think they make either one of these anymore.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
so pumpkined out on fall beers.
That's fine.
I mean, when it first happened, I'd be like, give me some.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, bleh.
Well, that's because everybody and their brother made one.
And I think a lot of them are just throwing pumpkin syrup flavoring into
Yeah. Oh, most of it is pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
So, but
anyways,
the ones that I particularly
go with the good ones.
liked
Yeah,
that
give us
stood-
good.
that
Give us
stood
good
out
ones.
For me was
Give us a good
I
one.
liked the New Belgium Pump Kick.
They do make that.
I was looking today and
It's not out yet.
Give it a couple weeks.
it didn't look like it was coming out. I hope it does.
Oktoberfest beers are coming out.
Yeah,
so.
I hope it does. And,
or out already.
and the other one, I'm pretty sure is not coming out because I saw people commenting on this one about how they're going to miss it. But it was the Rivertown Pumpkin Ale.
I've had that.
Rivertown is a local brewery here in Cincinnati, and I really liked their pumpkin, especially get it drafted at the bars. Local bars carried it. Mm-hmm. And the good thing about it is they weren't so heavy on the pumpkin spices, but to drink it properly, the bar would coat your rim with sugar and cinnamon.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool that way.
That is pretty nice. I like when bars go when bars go the extra mile to present to you a good tasting beer with a special twist.
Yeah.
Almost kind of like, lime with the Dos Equis. But the way you described it, makes you feel like you're drinking something sophisticated, like a salted margarita.
But I really liked it. But apparently Rivertown is not making their pumpkin anymore.
I think you should go protest.
The Pump Kick. Closest place right now.
Right now.
St. Peters, Missouri has one. At the Hotspot Liquor. It's 350 miles away.
Now that was last year's.
It may have been last year's.
It's been sitting in the sun and maybe a little flat.
They made it in 2016.
It's now 2017.
I haven't seen much about it.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about them saying it's coming out or anything, so I'm a little hesitant. But I like it. I hope it comes back out because that's really the one pumpkin one that I will drink.
It is in Paducah, Kentucky, too.
Hey, that's not too far.
There you go.
That's closer than Missouri.
Yeah. Let's see here. My number 4 is, I always fuck this one up. It's from Moorline. It's Chris Kindle. Chris
Kindle?
Is that how it's said? Okay. It's a Christmas beer. Really like it. It's a smooth. I like it's a smooth taste for it. A lot of the times at Christmas time and that, it's a lot of darkness because it's cold and all that
it's
out.
a lot heavier than you usually
and I'm
like.
not a big dark beer fan. I enjoy that one, though. I feel like there's a little bit of lightness to it.
I agree. I like the Chris Kindle.
My number 3 is a summer beer from New Belgium.
Okay.
I really am digging New Belgium lately.
I like New Belgium.
Skinny Dip. It's a lighter one.
I don't think I've had that one.
I've never heard of it.
No, I'll get you that.
What
here.
is it?
It is a lighter beer. It only comes out, like I said, for I want to say maybe 6-7 weeks. It's not, you can't find it always.
And they mass produce
Yes.
it so to ship across
Yes.
the country.
It is a American pale lager style. Let's see here. For the lightly attired summer months. So it is has a little bit of citrus in it. So yeah, it's not bad though. So I really enjoy it though. So there you go. There's my number 3.
My number 3, I'm getting on the Christian Moorline bandwagon here. And I'm going with the Emancipator Doppelbock. Okay.
Is that the one dedicated to the memory of Abraham Lincoln? Because he always liked a great Doppelbock.
Sure. I don't know why they chose that as a name, but that's what their spring when all the snow melts and you're celebrating the return of spring. The Bach.
That's right. For a lot of
We
people,
got the big Bach Fest here in town every spring.
we have a big Bach Fest in town because a lot of people don't know we have a lot of German heritage in German Catholic heritage in Southwest Ohio.
Yes, we do.
You know, it is kind of interesting the dichotomy we have in Ohio. Southwest Ohio is full of German Catholics, not Lutherans, Catholics.
Yeah.
And the Northeast Ohio is full of a lot of Eastern European Slavic.
Yeah, a lot of Polish. And,
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But anyways,
and Jason, that is a spring beer.
spring beer. It's a Bach. It's a dark spring
we did
beer.
a
Yes.
poll on Twitter today. I did. And I did
Oh,
not,
boy.
What's your favorite seasonal?
What's your favorite season? What season is your favorite for seasonal
Beer drinkers.
Yeah. And it was summer, winter, and fall because of Oktoberfest. And
Not
I
a
did
lot
not
of
put
spring.
because I didn't think there was many seasonal beers in spring.
I think of Saisons when I think of spring.
There's also one.
But I like Saisons, but it depends. I'm very picky on them.
Yeah, but I think of the box, and I'm thinking, Jason, you should know this because every year you want to do something for your birthday, and it's always Bachfest weekend is your birthday.
And he doesn't
so
like
we can
drinks,
never
right?
go to any place downtown because
true.
it's full of the Bachfest, and you can't find a place to sit anywhere.
I just found out that New Belgium actually stopped Skinny Dip this year. I guess I bought a little bad old pack.
The name offended people.
And I got Juicy Watermelon. It is the new one that they
I'm
I saw the
offended by
juicy
that, too.
watermelon.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the watermelon in beers.
No.
I tried the
I've tried a
Hell or High
couple.
watermelon.
I've tried
which
that.
is getting a lot of. Apparently, as I was looking this stuff up, a lot of people listed that high as a seasonal beer.
It
I'm
was
like, no.
okay.
Very
no.
flavorless.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, watermelon's flavorless to begin with.
Yeah, and now you just water down your beer even
Just
more.
pour water in your beer.
All right. Oh, so that was my number 3. Was the Emancipator Doppelbock from the Christian Moorline. Quite simply, a better beer.
I feel like New Belgium should be buying some ad space on our show this week because I just am looking at their website. They're just a limited release Belgian release. Or I'm sorry, Fat Tire Belgian White.
I saw that. I
That
saw
looks
that at
pretty damn
the
good.
saw that at
Sounds
the store on
racist
my
to
way
me.
here after picking up a. Excuse me. After picking up a 6-pack, I considered picking up that, except it wasn't in the cold beer section. So
Okay. Go ahead, Blake. What's your number 3?
My number 3. Now this was a wonderful, charming find. Now I'm going to call this my autumn selection. If you could ever find this, they're out of Massachusetts. Every once in a while, I like to try and find a good cider beer.
all right,
Most of the time, I'm disappointed.
I believe it.
So on the rare occasion that I was in the pub in Columbus, I saw this Massachusetts cider talking about an original authentic cider. So I said, yeah, sure, I'll try it. Because, it was fall, beautiful. And have you ever had a real apple cider?
Yes.
It comes, it's dark and it's milky and it tastes appley and etc. I got this and it looked exactly like that. Not the fake beer shit that you get. Yeah. And it was good alcoholic apple cider. And it comes from Down East Cider House Cider. And it's called the Original Blend. And originally what draw me to this name was because it reminded me like Cider House Rules.
Great movie.
I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. What the hell?
Do it.
And-
do your Michael Caine.
and-
Do your Michael Caine.
Somebody will just want to watch a one
No, do it from Cider House Rules.
Who wants an abortion?
I'm sorry, Blake. I didn't mean to interrupt you with that.
I can't think of anything better to go with my cider house cider. But anyways, I had a couple of these and got drunk. And on my Untapped beer account, I gave it a 5-star rating. And I said, if you like apple cider and cider beers, this is the best you'll have. The others like Stella and what's the other cider beer that's popular? It's mass produced.
No, that's not
Reds.
cider.
Yeah, Reds. I said,
well, that's not. Ooh, that's,
yeah, and
Well, it's not real
terrible.
cider.
and I was drunk and I was reaching into my
Angry Orchard?
Angry Orchard.
That's it. Yeah.
And I was reaching back into my Anglophile words, and I said the rest are all piss. And within minutes of me posting it on Untapped, Downey Cider House Cider liked my post.
There you go.
I was like, awesome. But yeah, it may be hard to find, but if you ever come across it, write it down and drink it. Because if you really like apple cider and you like trying to find a good cider beer, this is really alcoholic apple cider.
Okay, what's your number 2?
Oh, my number 2. All right. I'm going to go into this one. The taste combo. I like shandies.
I agree.
I like in the summertime
like
when
shandies.
it's really, really hot. But I got burned out on shandies for a while. I haven't had one for a long time, right?
You're like by August, you're kind of
I like
waning
like
out
the
on
old Travelers, the grapefruit, the lemons, pretty good. The Leinie Kugels, different shandy. I like when I was first exposed to real shandies in Germany back in the day when they gave me a beer mixed with lemonade.
Yeah.
And, Radler. I'm like, what the hell is this? I like that stuff. I like Hoffenhofer,
Hoffa.
and all that kind of stuff. But on a whim, I saw this beer, and it was from Ardent Craft Ales. Now, I'm going to tell you the combo, and you may go, what the hell? But I love this so much. I got this in Virginia, and it's from Ardent Craft Ales, and it's honey ginger ale and grape soda.
That would be interesting.
I'm intrigued.
I saw that on the thing. I said, I love Radlers. I love shandy. I said, give it to me. Because it's a weird combination you don't see every day. And this is from Rafa Road Worlds, United Edition. And I tried it, and I immediately fell in love with it because it was so different tasting and tasty. I loved it.
I would
It was my
at least
number
give that a
2.
try.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Jeff, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is kind of in the vein of shandies, but not quite. It has a little of the lemon flavor to it, but not overpowering like most shandies. But I went with the Samuel Adams Porch Rocker.
It's my number 2 as well.
All right.
I was going back and forth and actually just switched it from my number 1 to number 2, so that was good. It's a very good beer. It's a little sweet, but it's good.
It's sweet for a beer, but it's more full and beerier than most shandies. So
Their summer ale is good too.
some
the same
Brown was
Adams.
good too. I agree.
So that's your number 2.
That was my number 2. And your number 2.
My number 2. My number 1 should be no surprise. Jeff, what do you think it is?
I'm guessing it's New Holland Ichabod.
Ichabod! I don't like pumpkin beers. I don't like a lot of taste of pumpkin, to be honest with you. I don't even like pumpkin pie. It's mush. But I love the pumpkin, New Holland pumpkin beer. It's comes out for 6 weeks, 7 weeks. It's kind of tough to find if you're not from Michigan area and that. But a couple of places have been coming around with it in Cincinnati, and I pretty much hoard it all year round as long as it's a nice, cold place, dry place.
You hoard it or you hoarded it?
Hoarded it. Hoardor. Hold the door. Hold the door. Hold the door. I got that reference.
I was going to say you hoard that.
Hoard or hoard it?
Or hoarded.
Anyways, it's a very good pumpkin beer. It's not overpowering, and like I said, it's the only pumpkin beer that I really like. So, Jeff, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is the Hofbrau Dunkelweizen.
I do like the Dunkels.
It's honestly, Hefeweizens are like usually my favorite beers.
Oh, you Dunkel?
And I really
that's
like
Dunkov.
Dunkels. So when you put them together, and at least here in town, you can go down to the Hofbrau House in the month of, I think it's October, is the month that the Dunkelweizens are out. Because
Dunkel!
The Hofbrau House here
Dunkelweizen,
locally,
Dunkopf.
they've got like 3 or 4
Scheißkopf.
year-round beers, and then every month they'll get a new beer for the season or whatnot.
I love Hofbrauhaus.
But the Dunkelweizen and that's Dunkels and Hefeweizen's combined. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, I stole an original Glass Stein out of the Hofbrauhaus.
Excellent.
In Munchen, in Munich.
Oh, in the Munich.
Yeah.
All right. the
And
original.
coasters.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I
Thank
bow.
you. Thank you. I'll bring it in one of these days. You can look at it.
Just look at it.
You can't drink from it.
Can I touch?
No.
it?
I said, good day, sir. Blake, what's your number
Guten
one?
Tag, Herr. My number one, kind of a homer on this, but as you talked earlier about your pumpkin spices, it is best to go to the actual brewery when they untap the first kegs of this seasonal beer.
Exactly.
And they'll take your glass, pint glasses, and what they'll do is they'll, edge the rim in like cinnamon and nutmeg for your Christmas ale. Great Lakes Christmas Ale.
Knew that was going to be yours.
That is my number one seasonal because I can't get enough of that stuff, and thank God it's only out during Christmas time. Or else,
So when you go back home for Christmas time,
yeah,
your parents?
or down here it's great.
they
The whole
have-
Christmas ale thing's taken off down here, so you can buy your
Well, you
your
can get
beer
it here,
as
but
well.
can you get like fresh from the
Yeah, you can get
factory?
fresh beer like at the what's the Mellow Mushroom carries it every year too. And so, but
then
you know
you
what
see
those
Mellow
assholes do?
Mushroom pizza.
You know what those assholes
Hey!
do? You know what those assholes do at Mellow Mushroom?
They
charge you the smaller sifter glass.
Oh,
Or at least the restaurant where I was at, and I was really upset. I didn't get a full pint glass. They were giving you the cheaper because it has a slightly higher alcohol content, but not that high of a content,
they put it in
and
the-
charge me more for it. Bastards.
what bothers me is most of these places when they give you your pint glass, you're not getting the imperial pint. That's what
Yeah.
a fucking pint glass is. 20 ounces imperial pint. 16-ounce shit, bullshit.
That's right.
I was just at the pub in Rookwood here locally. They serve their stuff in imperial pints. Damn it!
Yeah, this episode brought to you by the pub at Rookwood, not Mellow Mushroom.
They fuck you in the drive-through.
They screw you on the Great Lakes Christmas Ale.
But Great Lakes had a couple that I was thinking about putting on my list. But
Yes, the Dortmunder Gold I usually like in the summertime. Too.
I do abortions, I
Elliott Ness Burning River.
yeah, those are year-round
Yeah,
ones. though.
those are year rounds. You can get them year round.
We had a couple from listeners.
Yeah, I saw our Facebook loaded up pretty quick on
Yeah, it
this.
did. It was a good one. Let's see here. Jeannie from last week, Jeannie from Hobie, had 5, Summer Shandy. She had number 4 was Bach, Spring and Easter. Number 3, Oktoberfest. Number 2, Ginger Pumpkin. And 1, Winter Warmer or Christmas beer. She was a little bit less specific.
She was the type,
In
not
general.
the brand.
See, in the summers I like shandies. In the falls I like the pumpkins. In the winter I like the Christmases.
Kevin from Cincy Explorer. Number 5, Sam Adams Summer Ale. Good choice. Number 4, Summer Shanty.
Shanty?
Shandy.
Summer shanties at the Jamaica lager.
We'll have to ask Kevin on that one.
3, Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Number 2, Thirsty Dog Christmas Ale. I'm kind of intrigued just by the name. And number 1,
Thirsty Dog, yeah.
Anchor Steam Holiday Ale. Is his number
Anchor
1.
Steam is a good company, but
Yeah.
I like their stuff.
Number 5 from Matthew McDonald from Daddy Waffle. He had Bundaberg Ginger Beer. Number 4, Gosling's Ginger Beer. Number 3, Barks Root Beer. Number 2, Mug Root Beer. Number 1, Dr. Pepper. So there you go.
The shot or the mixed drink or the soft
I
drink?
think the soft drink.
right.
I think he may be a teetotaler, is what I'm getting from the.
Oh.
Sister Pam just had 1, Summer Shandy. Ryan Varney had Gobbler Lager from the Roy Pitts Brewing Company. It's in Pennsylvania. The Gimp, Nick the Gimp. Welcome, Nick. 5, in the spring, he likes box season. Christian Moorline Emancipator.
Hey, I'm with you on that one.
Number 4, summer, Shandies and Goose, any and all.
Ghosts.
Goes.
Yeah, goes. Not a goose, that would be weird.
Goose beers.
I'm going to goose you.
Goes.
Number 3, winter, he likes the stouts, Prairie Christmas Bomb, and Stones. Shokovizaya. He even did a pronunciation for me, and I still fucked it up. Spring is also KBS season. And number 1, fall. Founders Backwoods Bastard. Disappointed that this wasn't on Jeannie's list for Founders last week. It's the best beer ever.
All right, Jeannie, let's get your reaction to Nick's best beer ever.
And 2 more here. Dev. He had Arcadia Ales Jawjacker. Number 4, Founders Brewing Company All Day IPA. Number 3, Dark Horse Brewing Smells Like a Safety Meeting. I like the name.
The name intrigues me enough that I want to at least taste it.
What type of beer is that?
2, Odd Side Ales. He had a Bean Flicker Blonde. Number 1, Perrier Brewing Company Poop Your Pants Chocolate Bach. I don't know if I want to try Poop Your
that
Pants
one kind
Chocolate
of worries me. I'm not sure I want that one either.
Number Tony, Jeannie's husband.
Tony High.
Tony.
I don't recognize him since he became professional with his beard.
I know. He doesn't have the beard anymore.
Number 5, Great Lakes Oktoberfest.
Gotta go back to the Unabomber look.
Number 4, Dark Horse, 4 Elf Winter Warmer. Kind of like the name. Malmy Bay Brewing. He had the Blitzen.
Needs beer.
That's Mommy.
Elf is about.
That's what I said. Blitzen Ale. Number 2, Black Clostier Brewing, the True Scotsman. And number 1,
Clostier? Is that Cloister?
Cloister. Cloister.
The T looked like an eye to him. I get it.
number 1, Great Lakes Chill Wave.
Ooh,
That sounds like a bad guy in the Flash from TV show. I'm Chill Wave.
Does sound like a bad guy in the Flash.
So there you go. There's your beers. Thank you, everybody. Next week, we will have the winner of the draft. In fact, Thomas Kirk actually has his own Dunham Bulls that he drafted. I like it.
Dunham?
Stir 'em, whatever. Get me the fuck out of here. Bad idea of the week. I don't know. My number 87, me trying to pronounce beers.
yeah.
Or
Don't let
anything.
Jason read your beer list.
Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
From Walking Dead to Talking Heads, from comic books to TV sets, there's a history of not so bad. There's the history. It's the history of bad, so bad.